All right, it's starting to go live. Zoom always says it's still loading the live while it's already displaying live. So I'm gonna just start being like, "Hey, what up?" Let's see. All right, everybody. People will come in as we go. I got the chapter open, Rex. Let's see. Ooh,
Let's get it.
whoa! Immediately opening up with Jiro. What's up, Jiro? Jack, we're back. Bad news. What? The perimeter's been breached. Something huge is coming our way. Get up there. We got to hold the line. Trainees, you stand by back there. You mean that army of heroes couldn't stop whatever this it is? Ooh, just pushing along. And that's wild because, like, he's not even muffing her. He's just taking her along for the ride.
Yeah, I know.
What on earth happened? Well, I was underground when the big guy snatched me up for a ride. The boss must be awake. Nothing else would get this big lump to budge. This is sooner than expected. Let me off, Dobby. Why take me and not the others? I must protect Redestro. Keep it down. They haven't noticed this yet. I have been waiting, Master. I am on my way. Ain't that the walking calamity, though? I thought he didn't move much. The team in Jakku must have failed. We got to back up Mount Lady. Nothing's working. He's too solid. The ice guy's still alive and kicking? What's happening here? This is a mess. Whatever happens. Cementos trying to go all out on him. We must stake our lives on the job. Ooh, there's a tremor coming. And Redestro. Ooh, Redestro versus Edshot. That's not the matchup I expected. Right back at you. The moment I arrived, I got caught up in the thing's rampage. Giganto Makia's activation means that Tomura Shigaraki has awoken in an imperfect state. What did you pesky heroes do to our savior and liberator? After Giganto Makia, Liberation Warriors, our revolution is at hand. Get closer. Ooh, Kamui Woods coming in. Yes, ma'am. Lady, hold on just a bit longer. Holding on. Shortest route to master. Oh, ooh. Ooh.
Yo, what's up?
Tossed her aside. Hey, what up, kid?
What's up?
Reading the chapter right now.
Nice.
On pages 8 and 9. Oh my God. Makia just disrespected Mount Lady.
I'll read along with you. I always like rereading the chapters anyway.
Oh my God. This is disrespectful though. Like, we all knew Mount Lady wasn't gonna stop him, but the way he's just tossed her aside is damn.
Just threw her around like trash.
Takayama, stay focused. They must have failed in Jakku, and if this guy descends upon the city, we're looking at an unprecedented catastrophe. Power alone won't stop him, so let me near his face. Boom. Oh, not so fast. The league's on his back. Oh, Kamui actually got cooked. See? Oh, Dobby, you're so smug. God damn. It's unwise to... Ooh. He beamed her with fucking rubble from the hotel. Way to go. It's unwise to underestimate heroes. What quirk could possibly stop him? Majestics? No, this thing is too big. Oh, man. Really, we're just helpless. Can you hear me, Creati? Midnight Sensei. Are you aware of what's going on? Yes, thanks to Jiro sound waves and Shoji's eyes, Mount Lady really got tossed aside. Incoming from Midnight. Since brute force won't stop him, put him to sleep. Huh? You'll be breaking the law, sure. Oh, boy. But the situation is desperate. He must be sedated. I don't understand, Sensei. She's mine. Get the sedative to the heroes, and then get out of here. There. If things look dicey, save yourselves. Ooh, Yaoyorozu will make a fine leader someday. I trust your judgment. Sensei, What was that all about? Trusting Yamamoto? If we got to put someone to sleep, why couldn't Midnight do it? What happened to Midnight? What's our strategy? Regardless, she said to flee. Oh, Sensei. Still coming? What's the plan, Momo Yao? Do we throw in the towel and retreat? Earphone jack, tentacle. Give me his distance on ETA based on sound, plus the Giant's height, an estimate will do. Mudman, we need your powers as well. Everyone prepare for action. He's already an eye shot. Geez, he's fast. He'll be here in under 10 seconds. I haven't been this clingy since middle school, damn it. He's slowed down a little, but only a little. He's 25 meters tall. That's bigger than Mount Lady. In all lessons, we were never taught to turn our backs to the enemy. Damn straight. I will stand and fight. You all, don't waste your breath. Costumes, check. On the scene, check. That makes us heroes. Prepare to engage the enemy. See, look at that. Look at that. All this impatience that people have been having. And look at that. Claiming Momo didn't have a character arc. Claiming that she wasn't actually a character. Claiming that she didn't. Like, nah, man. Like,
people are just too impatient. They don't allow things to like build up throughout the story. They just want everything to snap of fingers.
Exactly.
That's why especially with like joint training, like people, like a lot of people misunderstood what was going on right there, but she put her own life on the line to like help out her team in that situation.
Yeah, like you have to think of that as literally Momo accepting to die technically in the scheme of the exercise. And instead being able to make a plan that if Tokoyami had taken like seriously or like taken like as a life or death battle, would have won them the fight. Literally the only reason Tokoyami and them lost is because Tokoyami didn't treat it like a life or death fight. Yeah. And Shroom Girl did. So, man.
Also, real quick, we had like an hour and 30-minute argument 2 weeks ago about whether there would be a flashback. Me and Sayas was fighting 100 niggas to say there would not be a flashback at any point in the chapter. We were right. You niggas was wrong.
Wait, flashback? Flowers.
Because we were saying that they'd probably explain what happened with Makia. But like instead they just had people like explain what happened. Which the whole point of our conversation was that he's going to explain what happened. Whether it's by flashback or some way, but we were like, more than likely it'll just be like a flashback to show us like the actions. But instead he chose to have them explain it, which makes Rex half right because he was like, they don't need to explain what happened. No. We directly said
go back. I actually said verbatim what he's gonna do is have them talk about it and not actually go back and everything move forward. It's on video.
Nah, somebody was saying that there was gonna be no explanation, and I'm like, nah, that's not happening. We're gonna get some explanation.
I don't think me or Say I said that.
Yeah. Because that's what I cared about. I was like, there's no way they're gonna just like act like nothing happened. Like they're gonna explain something. So I'll give you 5 points out of 100.
Also, did Redetro do a new move?
Yes. Because we have not seen this weird X scissor type attack before.
Oh no. We haven't.
I don't know if that.
I didn't even realize that until now. I thought that was like a combination attack until you pointed it out.
Yeah.
You could argue that it's just him using burden, but these look more like slashes than.
Yeah, if it was burden, everyone else would have got destroyed. Like Fat Gum, all of them.
Yeah. And Edge Shot versus Redestro really isn't a good matchup for Edge Shot, like at all. I feel, but hey, it's
why not?
Mostly because I think because of the way Shigaraki's decay interacted with Redestro's body, where he was like, "What? It's starting to decay," and like flicked him off. I feel like he's got a high enough durability where it's kind of hard for him to get those piercing attacks off. So it's not exactly he can't just like run up inside him like he can most other characters. You know what I mean?
And that's why he's not inside of his body and we see him outside because his durability is just so. Yeah, this actually is a really bad matchup, bro.
Because like, well, your whole thing is I just like rip you apart from the inside.
if you
And
can't
then
get
that gets
inside.
taken away.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we were talking about when I was talking about how, like, Eraser versus Hawks, like, spending so much time on your quirk and, like, that being a part of your fighting style can really fuck you. Like, this kind of stuff where it's like, oh, the thing that I've been training for like, this particular thing is now worthless. All right.
Well, in this case, even if he did just train martial arts, there's nothing he could do.
Yeah.
Redestro is just too, like they said, sometimes overwhelming power is just better than techniques and everything. And that's what it is here.
Which I really like the fact that, see, this is, and if you remember, I was like, Dabi having to see an intelligence in the data book is just Horikoshi trolling us more.
It has to be, because you see
He's
what
like,
he did to Kami Woods. It's like some Pokemon kind of move. It's like, oh, that's super effective. He's like burning and shit.
But also he's like, hey, shut the fuck up. They don't know we're up here. We like, this is gonna pay off.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
They're able to pull off as much sneak attacks as they can.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, Dabi is basically a rogue, like, that has a mage kit, because all he does is like pull up and get critical sneak attacks on people.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, all right, you're half health, so I guess we can fight now. Like, this is.
It was good strategizing too with him and Mr. Compress to like get Kami Woods and Midnight out of there.
Dude, Midnight is dead.
No, she's not.
So that dude that came up that said she's mine was from the Liberation Army.
Wait, which squadron was he a part of again? The Brown or?
I don't remember which one, but like the dude wearing the gas mask is literally pulling up the killer.
Oh, actually, she may be dead. I thought that Kami Woods was with her again, but nah, he's with Mount Lady.
Nope.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh yeah, you see,
yeah,
you see him towards the end, like above Mount Lady's forehead.
Like if you go back and look at pages like 14 and 15, as she's given the instructions, the dude says she's mine, and you can see that she's jumping, like he's jumping towards her as she explains the thing, and then that's when she's just screaming. She's like, "I trust your judgment."
You have that whole passing of the torch thing with Momo.
It's literally her accepting death and making sure to get the last plan to Momo.
Yeah, even if she did beat that one guy, there's 4 other dudes behind him.
Yeah.
So.
And she just fell like 200 feet with a piece of a building on top.
And that guy has a mask on too, I believe, right? So her gas isn't gonna really affect them. He has another guy. He has another guy by him too. He looks like he's wearing some sort of like black cloak. You can only see his eyes.
Yeah. The other thing about this conversation though that made me really excited is the kill switch conversation is going to start coming up for sure now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Midnight just straight up said, "This is illegal."
Yeah.
But I want you to do it anyway. So
it goes to show they might have to just break a few laws if they want to get through this thing. I mean,
I'm about to say, yeah, because with Giganto,
really
putting him to sleep isn't enough. You have to kill him. Because I'm just thinking about it. Let's say they beat him. He goes.
You know what I was? Oh, sorry, Rex.
I would say even if they beat him, or let's say they get him to Tartarus, they can't keep him contained there. Because if like they say, the moment you activate your quirk or whatever, do shoot you with bullets and stuff. He's more durable than that.
Yeah.
It's you have to kill him.
Affect them at all.
Yeah.
Also, let's see. How tall did they say Makia was?
One of the things I was thinking of,
25 meters.
After reading this chapter, is like this would be the perfect opportunity for like the trader to like screw everything up right here.
Yeah, this is literally like the chance for the trader to just go, everybody gets to die. Like, and that could be where this particular route goes, because these aren't the main 6, so these could be. Like, it was like, oh, like I was like your student did die. Like your student did die. Like this could be the batch of students that has to catch some seriously major L's.
You guys see that little fan theory of like Mineta stopping Gigantomachia from moving?
What is it?
We've been over this. We've been over this. If he throws out those little sticky balls,
he's just gonna pick up the ground
like,
with his feet. Yeah. mean, I'm sure they're all gonna get moments, but I don't see it going down. I don't see it being that easy for them.
What if Manetta trained his quirk so much that Giganta actually couldn't move? I was like, Manetta's the GOAT. Put respect on my boy's name. I'll be happy.
You're getting too optimistic.
Hey, BG,
Yo,
coming in like a real hero.
What's good?
What's up?
I mean, him not being able to move is like, all he has to do is punch the ground if he can't move it with his feet. It's like, it is what it is. But if Mineta could stop him from moving, that's a huge feat.
Also, Makia is only technically like 90 feet tall, but at the same time,
that's tall.
He must have some growing type quirk, huh? Because I notice he looks like different every time I see him. Like he can sort of change his size. I could be wrong though. It could just be how the panels are.
That's
the bigger he gets, the more the rocks on his back look.
Okay.
the more like.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. Like the more like his back looks more like a mountain.
It's like his quirk might actually be something like Mountain.
Yeah.
Or like Mountain Man or something.
I wouldn't be surprised
if
we get the information on that soon.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
How tall is Mount Lady? I'll go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, so I'm very happy to say I was fucking right. I told y'all he wasn't in fucking love with her. I don't know what y'all were on. I don't know what the fuck y'all were on, but I'm like, nah, you gotta hear me out next time I tell y'all that ain't the case.
No, we just wanted to address the love bubbles, man. Because like they were drawn.
Yo, so BG, we wasn't saying like it's a fact. We was saying it would be cool if it was true.
We were like, that's the only way Mount Lady not getting folded here is if Horikoshi wants to save Mount Lady, that's like what that would be. But
yeah.
Instead, he basically said Mount Lady was for the streets. Like,
yeah,
Maki had been listening to the future.
So basically, how this goes is the students. This is my prediction. The students are going to slow down Makia. He's going to like get on his knees, and whatever quirks that Makia has is going to come into play here, and he's just going to bulldoze it through. I don't think any of the students are going to get hurt in this situation. Maybe one or two, maybe like a huge maybe.
Yeah.
But as long as they don't get straight up into his face, Makia is not concerned. Whoa, what's loud?
Yo, am I too loud?
Yeah, man.
It's talk, bro.
I just read the chapter.
Good.
Yeah, but as long as the kids don't get in his face, Makia isn't. Whoa. Yeah,
Who's got those kids?
It's Ponzu.
I got the Ponzu push the talk.
Yeah,
I gotta unmute him in a bit.
Yeah, but as long as the kids don't get into Makia's face, we see Makia not really paying attention to anything around them. As long as they don't get in his face, they should be fine for the most part.
I mean, that's what I'm not gonna lie, those kids are making me nervous.
Why?
Because I don't what is it? Because I have the feeling that they like somehow might succeed.
They're not.
No, like
all I'm really expecting is for them to get a couple good moments in there, but when push comes to shove, Gigantomachia is probably gonna like manage to get through this.
Yeah, they're not, because like the thing is that at most I could see them getting a temporary stall on Makia himself and causing like Dabi to be like, oh, lights them on fire. Like,
yeah,
I don't see them getting like a real meaningful stop, especially with so little time. So I think what they'll get is a distraction that'll like make him pay attention to them, which is going to be very unfortunate for the children. But since, they got like lightning and stuff like that, there's a chance that it could be useful. And I mean, Kamui Woods and Mount Lady were partnered with Kaminari and Zero and Mineta, so maybe we could get something to happen here. But I'm kind of more over expecting Kamui Woods or Mount Lady to die next chapter because I'm pretty sure Midnight just got killed. So
also the two worst members to be on a high advantage is on Makia, like Compress and Dabi. We don't know how many marbles that Compress has full of debris they can just drop on people.
Yeah, and the thing is like you can whip a marble. It seems like he can throw those marbles at like the speed he would be like a normal marble. So like the weight of whatever stored inside doesn't matter. So he kind of hit Midnight with a fastball special that was like that debris, and that's why she just straight to the ground. So
would y'all think she done?
Oh yeah, I think Midnight just got murdered.
That's what I think too, but a lot of people are saying otherwise.
Maybe not. I'll wait to see.
Like, I understand being hesitant to give it just because it's technically not on screen, but it's kind of like the Pussycats for me, where I was like, yeah, everything you showed me visually beyond what you showed me there, plus a little bit of what you showed me there, makes it seem very unlikely they're alive.
Yeah.
Just like with like Wash, where it was like, maybe Wash is alive, but then the debris scene where he was like, even a piece of it falling on you. And I'm like, nah, there was
a rock could be flying in there and hit him. So.
Yeah, I was like, there could be too much shit fall. Like we literally saw a bunch of stuff falling all over the place right next to him. So I was like, all right, yeah, nah, he ain't make it.
It's also going to be cool that Kirishima and Mina's there so they can see Tamaki again.
Man.
Yeah.
But this time without a hoodie on, so.
Yeah.
Also, like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the I haven't read
and Unbreakable.
I haven't read every shonen, but this is the first shonen I remember reading where a lot of, I don't want to call them main characters, but like all these teachers and stuff we've seen since basically the beginning of the series. Like, and a lot of and a lot of them have had development up until this point. I think this is the first time we've seen characters like actually be in danger. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, a lot of them. Like okay, so at the USJ invasion, we were worried about the students, but as soon as the heroes pulled up, boom, we were like, nope, they got it. Heroes here, boom. Like as soon as they showed up in Kamino, we were like, oh yeah, and then like All for One teleported them away, and it was like, oh wait, but then it was like, nah, heroes here, we win. Like a lot of the series, and it's always felt like the heroes here, we win.
Yeah.
And that, like, part of that is intentional, like, because it was the UA beginning saga, and we had to get introduced to Hero Society on top, and the complacency the heroes were developing, etc. But now that we're in the Rise of the Villain saga, we get to kind of see everybody push to their limits, and it's paying off because a lot of these people had conversations about the complacency, right? Like President Mike and like Midnight, and they, literally sat in a room and they were like, All Might got too big, and we all really kind of started slacking off. So like we saw people kind of already have that conversation, and then we could see the interactions between Endeavor. So we're seeing all these people kind of adjust to the times, deal with these struggles, try to come out on top, and we're watching them struggle after seeing them come from a place where we used to like just kind of count on them to catch the W. That it makes for an interesting arc, like where we
and
are.
And also,
right now.
Mount Lady is one of the most developed background characters I've ever seen.
Yeah,
she's
like
a
I don't want
example.
I don't want to call her a side character because she's really not there for a lot of the series. But like every time we see her, it's a progression or a change or something that's happening with Mount Lady. Like Jesus, even like Midnight and like Kamui, like slow, like everyone is slowly like changing based on like what's going on in the world. So I think that's why like people are really attached. Like even if they don't think they are, people are really attached to these characters, whether it's like, oh, it's a positive attachment or negative attachment, but it's just like all of these characters are part of the series, and it kind of feels weird. Like in this arc, it feels like they're main characters, and it feels like if they like, that's why I think so many people are hesitant, because for like they do feel like main characters in this arc, and it feels like if they die, it's like, oh, it's the main character died. And I think that's why I know that is great, but I think that's also why people are hesitant to say that some of them have died. Also, we've never seen this many like characters that we know by name and experience die like rapidly back to back in like a shonen. If to my knowledge, I could be wrong.
I like outside of like what does a Kamiga kill count as shonen? I mean, it's garbage.
No,
it doesn't.
I never even saw it. I don't plan on it though.
It's garbage.
Yeah, you don't need
You
to.
gotta read it.
It's not garbage. It's if you read it,
The anime
it's
sure is.
mid. It's mid. It's
The
mid.
anime is sure trash.
It,
Oh,
this
the anime
is-
is garbage.
yeah. I'm talking about the anime because I didn't read the manga, so I won't speak on the manga. I'm just saying
Oh, the
anime was
manga is
garbage.
actually like does it a lot better.
I would say
Oh, yeah,
like
I've heard.
Demon Slayer and the last arc hit you with rapid fire deaths, but that wasn't.
But you didn't really care about those characters. Like
Yeah. No, like I actually do care about.
Okay, let's not. Okay, I'm not gonna say I don't care on all of them. Some of them.
No. What I'm saying is that some of those characters you didn't really build up the attachment from like the beginning of the entire series. Like Midnight, Kamui, literally Mount Lady and Kamui Woods were the first two people we saw in like
the first two
chapter.
pros we saw really pro hero. Like take on a villain.
I think my bigger issue with Yaiba was that some of the deaths don't feel earned because they just feel like they didn't have to die, but they just killed them anyway for the sake of it. I don't feel, but also I don't feel that here.
Or just to build up tension. That's what you're trying to say.
Like Genma, because Genma to me doesn't make any fucking sense because he had the most like demonic like intake that he had ever, and then like pretty much he's been healing from all types of wounds before. So and now he even got a nice demonic art. So you would think that would mean that he be at his most powerful. He had the most highest generation he had yet. Yet somehow he got he had that shit lasted for 2 seconds and then he died.
He literally had like UM1 level regeneration, but somehow like that wasn't good enough. And it's like,
yeah,
that regeneration was almost enough to push them beyond decapitation. In fact, it was going to for at least 2 of the characters.
Yeah.
So what?
It was Upper Moon 1's.
Yeah, like he ate the sword.
So I was like, yeah, that should have definitely given you an Upper Moon 1 level regeneration. So
yeah, and then
the fact that it didn't, and he just died, to me felt like it was just we need another death. So let's throw this in here. So that's how I feel, and that's why like that's one of the reasons I don't think the deaths hit for me. In this though, all the deaths that actually make fucking sense in the context of what the fuck we're reading.
Yeah, and like the only other shonen I can think of is Chainsaw Man. And the characters that die, I'm not gonna spoil it, but the characters that die, I feel like we didn't get that chance to get attached heavily.
Okay, so the thing about Chainsaw Man that I think we kind of contextualized it a little differently than like how Demon Slayer was, is that like with Demon Slayer and like with this, we have like these are pro heroes that have been continuously administering justice. One of the big things about like Chainsaw Man is how like quickly you can die. Like that's a big thing about like how life gets cut short. Like that's like a big theme within the story. So like with Chainsaw Man, people get off left and right. And it's all about how, like, at the end of the day, this line of work kills people. You're not like they constantly talk about like how they can't afford to develop attachments to most of the people anymore because just everybody's dying. Like,
but I think that also goes to the audience too. Like, you don't ever build up that attachment.
Yeah.
To, like, and I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but like, it's just like, okay, what?
I think
I saw that.
Yeah, like there's certain characters though that people still end up attached to because of like how fun they are, and that just kind of makes it worse because you're like, oh, like I actually enjoyed Mr. Lord Chainsaw, like or whatever.
It's the Game of Thrones.
You want me to be honest? If it took me forever to care about Power until recently.
What?
That's just me though. Like I never hated her.
That's me too.
I never hated her. Don't get me wrong. But it took me a while to get invested in her character. But as the story progressed and as her relationship with certain characters grew, like I made me appreciate her a lot more.
I recently did a reread of Chainsaw Man just because I was like, well, it's only like 70-some chapters. And a lot of it is built up a lot better than like I think about. Like the stuff with Denji currently being the devil that devils fear most has been set up since like the beginning. People were constantly obsessed with Denji's heart. You have like so many little things, and like Power has one of the most interesting character introductions because I remember one of the panels literally is her being like, I'm the type who doesn't flush when she leaves a poop.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, what this is a character I care about now. Like,
Yeah. It's like I care about her, Denji, and Aki. Like I think the thing I like about them the most is the relationship they have with each other. Like comparing how they were in the beginning to where they are now, they've changed a lot.
Yeah, and I think like the other people exist to feed their relationship, not necessarily to
I can see it.
be their own. Yeah, it's utilizing your side characters for character progression. You get made into a character progression smoothie sometimes. I mean, like, that's just what happens.
Also, back to my hero real quick. So we've been talking about like the 75% Shigaraki.
Yep.
And Redestro confirmed that he's in an imperfect state.
Mm-hmm.
What imperfection does Shigaraki have, do you guys think?
So I'm kind of expecting quirk limits. Like he's not going to be able to like infinitely take quirks. He's going to have to actually like sit there and think about what he wants to have on hand. Like I think that's going to be a major issue for him.
So like all for one, basically.
Yeah, so his all for one is going to be more like 9s than it's going to be like the original all for one.
No. What I'm saying is, I think Shigaraki can take more quirks than all for one, but I think even though his threshold is higher, I think he still is going to have the limit.
Oh yeah. Like he's still he's going to end up limited
because at 100% he could unlimitedly steal quirks and just have them all in his body without any repercussions. But at 75%. He can still take more than all for one because his body is more durable, but it's still not as much as he could. I really don't know, and I think that his imperfection is, now that they mentioned it in this chapter, whenever we go back, it's going to play a huge part.
Yeah, that's why your theory about the temporary arrest works, because he's not perfect Shigaraki anyway.
Yeah. What if it's a physical limitation? Like, what if it's not actually the all for one quirk, but actually his body physically just like isn't like, I don't know. Like, what if he just stops? What if he just stops and just passes out?
Like, oh yeah, like every now and then he just shuts down because he can't.
Yeah.
Because of the 75%.
Or like if he tries to use certain quirks, he just like malfunctions.
Yeah.
Like that's why
probably have to be the same thing with from before All for One was doing, like trying to make sure he gets quirks that are easier to use instead of
alternative.
Yeah.
The 75% actually works in his favor, because if it had gone further, the vestige might have been able to actually take over.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Because it would have been more ingrained in him.
Maybe.
And so, like, I don't think it would have been their like plan for the vestige to take over, because I don't think they knew that the All for One vestige would be that powerful.
I don't even think All for One knows.
Yeah, I don't think All for One knows that like the vestige he left behind is that like strong of a will. Like, I don't think that part is planned, just because the only other person with vestiges is whatever One for All user. And the only One for All user who's actually had more than like 2 conversations with the vestiges is Deku. And I highly doubt any of them mentioned that to All for One. So like, they have the whole dreamscape thing where, yeah, sure, sometimes AFO hears his brother's voice, but I don't think he would have known about the vestige. I mean, it could turn out that he did, and it was his plan, but like, that's another like thing for the 100% is that the vestiges, or the vestige of AFO, might have been properly cemented and been able to take over if it had gone in, but because of that, it didn't.
So it could technically be like a perfect imperfection, like where, like, this is the best outcome for Shigaraki, even though that people think it's an imperfection.
Yes, this is the perfectly imperfect moment. Like, it leads to him being set because he was able to beat the vestige now before his body was at 100%, and he still gets all the benefits of having the quirk.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't get to be able to like steal as much, it's still so much better overall because he's still keeping his free will and all that other stuff.
Also, Caleb's posting some, Caleb, right? The translator.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's posting some stuff right now, and I ran across this one right here. It says why skeptic indeed. Dabi clearly has a plan in mind. Maybe actually I'll just post it in. I'll just post it in here so you guys can read it. It's actually pretty interesting. Like, what he's talking about right now.
Also, they don't have twice.
I'll drop it right there.
Yeah, they didn't bring the body, which I'm
probably
a
just
little.
tell him.
What I think is going to happen
Yeah.
is after all of this is done, they're going to come back to the mansion and they're going to have a funeral service for twice.
Hmm.
That all right, so
Which one am I looking at? Oh, okay, number 3. Okay,
That's
that's
number
it.
3.
ooh,
Yeah.
I'm currently deleting all of my muted words on Twitter.
I really don't know how. I don't know how you I don't know how y'all you can't like just get around it because me, I never put that shit up, and I never see spoilers.
Man, because like people will literally just like all of a sudden I'll be scrolling and then it'll just be like image.
Apparently
Bro,
you
this
can.
raw.
Apparently you can mute pictures.
Yeah, you can. You just got to turn off the preview for images on Twitter. So you won't. So basically, you will never see an image unless you click on view image. So like that also works out for anybody that wants to avoid spoilers. I don't do that because I don't like, bro. Like if I'm going to those limbs, I'm also just get off Twitter.
I'm like, no, for me, it's more like when I'm not looking for spoilers, I don't see spoilers. I mean, I looked for spoilers this week, but I didn't see spoilers.
That's wild. Like I didn't get spoiled today, but I don't know. It's like it's just better. Like I prefer not having to deal with.
Yeah.
Like,
What's funny enough, I didn't see any talk about My Hero at all.
I saw some, and then I immediately went and did my muted words to make sure I didn't see any extra.
Because I didn't know anything about like what was going on in the show. Like I literally went into this blind, and I also think because I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, I just haven't been on the internet, so that actually worked in my favor.
That probably is exactly what it was for me.
82 feet tall currently. All right.
Can
Yeah,
he
she
get
also
bigger?
has splinters in her foot too.
I feel like
yeah,
I feel
no,
like we've
no.
seen Giganto bigger.
I think Makia can get bigger. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I think he. Yeah, because he was bigger than like some of the buildings that look to be more than 80 feet tall during My Villain Academia.
Yeah, so like in Deca, like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't feel like this is as tall as he can get. And also, Giganto is definitely taking out Titans like it's nobody's business. He's taking out the Colossal Titan like it's easy work.
Also, that's something that I was going to bring up, and I'm glad Caleb Cook mentioned it when you sent me this thread, kid, because Skeptic being taken by it seems like Dobby specifically made it a point to grab Skeptic, not Makia.
Yeah.
Which, ooh, Selkie being made canon. That's a nice detail.
What?
If you remember the season 2 filler episode with Sue, that seal is actually in the panel with Redestro. So that makes that a non-filler episode. It makes
you're talking about her. You're talking about her mentor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he showed up already. He showed up before this.
Yeah. He been showed up.
He showed up during the little spur where they said Chainsaw Man.
See, I was too busy looking at the people like Chainsaw Man.
We're talking about. I thought you were talking about the sidekick. I was like, oh, so the sidekick is real. But no, she's still filler.
So that means that man with the cameras, he might come into play, sometime down the line.
Also, one of the things that I want to know is, are we going to get to see Majestic or not?
Oh, also,
probably not.
Hold on. Did you unmute Ponzu?
I tried
to.
You
didn't unmute? Oh, you didn't?
Let's see. I think it's glitching out right now.
Wait.
Guys.
Yep. There you
go. Guys, I'm here.
Okay.
So I was listening to everything, and I was doing stuff because my mother asked me something to do, so I was on mute. Okay. Yeah. Right, so do I have to talk or?
No, you're good. You're good. Real quick though, Majestic. Like, how are you guys expecting this to play out? Because I don't feel like we would have got that name drop for nothing. Like, yes, we already knew that was Yao Momo's teacher, Momo Yao's sensei, but like that needs to kind of come into play because when Tokoyami was talking about his teacher, it was Hawks, and Hawks was really relevant. Yoroi Musha, we got to see him at least go to the front line. Ryukyu, well, she's currently unconscious after getting 8-ball quarter pocketed with an Endeavor. But like, still, we got to see everybody's mentor, like a good chunk of these mentors from like the closer or like the main cast move up. And Momo's close enough to the more important characters, especially with the relationship with Shoto. And like just the amount of screen time she's kind of gotten throughout the series, like there at Kamino, where like you would think we'd get to see her mentor in action.
I think that the way that we see Majestic is near the ending of all of this. I don't think we see him next chapter. But if let's say if all of this ends next chapter and then we see him, but if not, we see him basically sacrifice himself for Momo and for the rest of the kids to get away.
Who's sacrificing?
I wouldn't like that because I don't know shit about this nigga, so I wouldn't give a fuck.
Who?
But do you know anything about him?
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Well, do you need to know anything about him?
I really just need to know what he can do. I want.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We used to see his quirk. We see him protect them, and then he dies. I mean, I don't think we need his backstory. Like nigga was traumatized.
You know damn well I don't mean nothing about no goddamn backstory. I mean like Crust. Like Crust.
Just don't bum out like Crust. Got it.
Fuck
nah,
off.
man. Chill out.
Don't bum out.
I'm like,
Crust is
fuck
amazing,
off.
bro.
I don't know, man. Like when I was
amazing,
reading
nigga. Hold on, chill out. But nah, he was good. He was
Man,
good.
I just need somebody to have a Dragon Ball quirk, and then they just wish my nigga Crust back to life. That would be, whew. He come back, stop Shigaraki, the greatest hero of all time.
They do that. Like manga getting dropped.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm like, the Crust is the main character.
Oh, guys, please don't do that to my nigga Crust.
Man,
Crust
the
hero,
Crust,
bro.
the Crust love here. There's Crust love, man. The best hero, man.
Crusty love.
Crusty love, bro.
Crusty love, man. You gotta love Crusty, man.
Just remember, them shields made out of toe callus.
Bro, one day we need to find out really what Crust shields are made out of.
Cementos been putting in a lot of work too.
Yeah, he has.
Cementos is like the sleeper hero here.
Yeah.
for real.
Man, I was happy to see him in action, bro. Full of blood. He's a real man.
Now, you know what's funny is now that we've seen like basically what the heroes' jobs were like in both sides of the mission at the hospital and at the mansion. I think Cemento should have gone to the hospital. I think he definitely should have gone to the hospital. I think you evacuate everyone out the hospital. Then as soon as they're all evacuated, Cemento just like tears that shit to the ground.
I mean, it wouldn't have mattered because it was underground. So even if he split the whole hospital in half, it wouldn't have made a difference.
Can Cement? Do we know if his quirk can go work underground? I mean, cement. It's cement.
I wouldn't think so because there's only cement doesn't. There's not cement on the underground. He'd have to bury through the underground to get to the cement in the ground. So that wouldn't work.
I mean, what is it metal down? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, do we know if it's like what the material is down there?
No, I mean, even if there was cement, he'd have to somehow find a way to get under the ground to reach the cement anyway.
What I'm saying, well, we know there's a stairwell or something leading down there. All he has to do is touch the stairwell, and everything else just, gets destroyed.
I mean, I'd like to think that there wouldn't be a fuck ton of cement. It didn't look like cement to me.
And that's also hard to tell. But I think that also just in the city, like Cementos would have been great. Like I think that him here, like wherever Cementos is, he's a big player. And I think he's really like he's underrated. Like he's MVP.
But you gotta remember, his biggest contribution was that he was what led them to that big surprise attack. Without him, I feel like the mansion would have gone differently too.
He might be with his girl or something.
All right. Somebody said they feel like Midnight and Edshot should have been at the hospital instead.
Sure.
Yeah, no, Edshot is a much better.
You got a friend here. All right.
Yeah, like so. Why niggas don't mute their mic before they start doing it? Never mind. We do this every week.
I know.
But yeah, I think Midnight and it's just midnight, whatever. But Headshot definitely would have been the person that you want at the hospital.
Yeah, that would have been the perfect option.
Because as soon as Shigaraki wakes up, like if Headshot was there instead of Xless, then Shigaraki would have had a scarf around his neck, whatever. But still, like he potentially could have. but potentially, Headshot could have, like as soon as he saw Shigaraki move, just ended that all right there. Actually, now that I think about it, why is Headshot at the mansion?
Because I think they still wanted to make sure they had some heavy hitters there.
Yeah, that's true. But
like,
I'm just thinking,
because I'm like, I mean, I understand where it's all coming from, but it's like, at the end of the day, if you take somebody away from one and put them somewhere else, the outcome is going to be incredibly different if it's somebody major.
Yeah, so because think about it. Genus is down. Hawks is technically like somewhere in the mansion, but not necessarily like accessible. So then you put Mirko over with Endeavor. So you have 2 of the top 5. You have 1 and 5 at the hospital, and you have 2 and 4 at the hotel. So like that's the thought process. Then you have 6 at the hospital, and you have 7 at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get that, but
so it's like
I think you swap someone out for Headshot. Because I know Headshot is a heavy hitter, but just think about who the heavy hitters are to mention that they knew about. They knew Destro was there. They knew Giganto was there. Headshot does nothing if those 2 wake up. I think he's better at the hospital.
I think they thought that he was going to be better versus Destro than he actually is. Because it's kind of like how they didn't have information on Shigaraki's decay quirk when he pulled up at the school. Like they understand that like Redestro's quirk is stress, but they probably don't know that he turns into the fucking Hulk.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he kept that under wraps as well.
Yeah, so like they're like, oh yeah, we'll can distribute this, right? It'll be fine. But it's like, nope, this is just a bad matchup. So you might as well just put all like your most of your eggs into the fucking.
Lewis said he said Miracle and Headshot could have switched. I do not think that's the case. I don't know how Headshot works against the no moves, but I don't think that works.
Is it weird that even though, like, honestly, I feel like Mirko does better than him in both these matchups, though?
Yes, I agree.
So, like, that's like the weird thing is that I think that she still does better than him, and I think part of his rank, because also he's on a team, so he's got people helping him solve cases.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have sidekicks or anything. She just pulls up and does shit. So
I think the mansion goes. I think the mansion. A lot of the villains that are there are taken out, and the only ones you really have to deal with are the ones from the Bane Liberation Front and Giganto. If Miracle's there, I think she takes out. Like just from what I've seen with her in the high ends, I rate her very highly now. I think that a lot of the extra villains that we're seeing, like the ones that went from Midnight and stuff, like I don't think they're there if Miracle's there.
Yeah, no, because like she's kicking them into each other. She's playing like pool with. She's doing to them what Shigaraki was doing to Endeavor and Ryukyu. Like she's not. Gonna, whereas like Headshot has these like pinpoint needle attacks. She's just like, I'll kick you into 15 niggas if I got to. Like I don't care.
Yeah,
that's part of why she was pulled for the no moves though, like, cause she could kick their fucking skulls off.
Yeah, like it's like hindsight is 20/20 with a lot of things, and like I don't know. I think they expected the best outcome. I don't think they prepared for the worst case scenario.
I didn't realize how accurate that statement is to this year.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. Very
young
true.
Pandemic.
God, did not prepare for the worst case scenario.
Yeah, hindsight really is 20/20.
Yeah, bro. Like, just the nerve of the heroes to just think that Giganto would not wake up. The nerve of you. Do you understand that?
I mean, to be fair, it was all contingent on their success in the hospital. So I guess
that's what I'm saying.
It's just them having faith in their comrades. Well, you don't have faith in your friends, bro?
No, but
you don't believe in your Nakama?
No, it's not even that. Let's say that, cool, Giganto is this dude that doesn't move. Who's to say that all of that noise and stuff would not ruffle his feathers a little bit or like agitate him. Like you guys have no idea how Giganto works, and y'all are making these like they literally sealed off the thing and said, "Oh, he's going." Like that, the nerve of you. Like
no, okay, Rex is right because they like straight up Fat Gum was like, because like okay, Tokoyami manages to break Redestro's legs, so he knocks him down. Dark Shadow's like, yo, there's a beast down there. And like Tokoyami's like, oh yeah, the guy is like, no. There's a beast down there. And Fat Gum was just like, oh, he's not gonna do anything. He won't do anything without any orders from the boss. The boss is asleep, so we're fine.
Yeah, like that's such a crazy statement to make. Like who yes, Giganto, like we know Giganto most likely will only move for Shigaraki. But even we don't even know if that's truly the case. If something I'm just saying if something really roused Giganto up or someone attacks him or something, or something like we don't know if that's what's going to get Giganto to move. He may not go to Shigaraki's location, but he may stand up like, what is going on? You know?
To be fair to them, there's two things about that. For one, they were right. Yeah, like for one, they're right, and for two, they got the information. I'm pretty sure they got that information from Hawks, who's been like literally like observing everything that they do, including him. So I don't really think that was like, it's not really arrogant. It's like it's just going off the information.
But even Hawks doesn't know though.
But like,
I mean, he might. So you could say he doesn't know, but he was right.
Okay, arrogant isn't exactly the right word. It's more like naive because
that's what I'm saying. They're naive.
Yeah. Like it's why would you believe that? Like, regardless of how true it is, why would you believe that?
I feel like arrogant works better than naive because, like I said, they were right. It's just more like arrogant works because of the fact that they believe that they would be able to stop Shigaraki from waking up. It really has nothing to do with Maki itself, because Maki's movement or like threat level all is contingent on their victory or failure.
Well, my thing is that like, let's say when Tokoyami was breaking through the base, if he had like thrown Redestro and he happened to like crash into Makia, and Makia was like, hold up, I don't like that.
Exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know if something agitates Maki, we do not know if he gets up right there. Hawks doesn't know. The league doesn't know. Nobody knows. That's something you have to factor in.
Or let's say like when the fight started, like the building, like let's say something crazy happened, the Cementos caused the tunnels to start collapsing, and then like shit's falling on Maki, and he's like, well, I'm not just gonna get buried alive. Like,
yeah, he'll stand up. And then, like, if he stands up and sees that his master friends are in danger,
he might attack. But here's the thing: just the fact that he stood up while it being in a larger form is probably getting him attacked at that point. So he still could have ended up like, well, we gotta fold.
And not only that, the arrogance to just leave Redestro down there.
That too.
And he didn't even come out the whole Giganto. He made his own hole and came up.
Like, why would you like settle for blocking the tunnel if you knew that Redestro was down there?
Dude, you have the two strongest people down there, Redestro and Giganto. There's no way you leave them down there together.
Yeah, no, Redestro, that was foolish.
Like now that we're like have more, the invasion has like continued a little bit. Looking back, a lot of their decisions is very naive and arrogant, like on both fronts, naive and arrogant. They literally went into this under the assumption that there is no way we lose, and they did not account for any of the worst stuff happening.
And I think that's kind of a holdover from the All Might era. Like,
it is.
Even though they're now working harder, they still don't conceptualize the possibilities of their own failure. Because, like, yeah, Endeavor's the exception, right? Because he's understood, like, yeah, I can fail. Like, I got it. And in addition to that, he's been on the receiving end of, like, the first big ass beating that came with the new era. Like, so he had to adjust to this stuff real quick. Whereas everybody else has like kind of gotten away with like, okay, yeah, like we need to work harder because people are like doubting, but like we still got this, we still winning. And Endeavor's sitting there like, damn, if I didn't have like 3 other people there, I would have died. So like they're not having that we can die here mentality necessarily, or they didn't come into it with the approach of like, this is going to be a war that we can die in. they're like, this is a war our students could die in because we'll make sure to send them back. But like us, like they're not internalizing it themselves as like tangible, it seems, and that's the issue.
I feel like they believe that they themselves are expendable because they are from the past and it's not their time anymore. So I feel like their whole mindset is like, we need to do what we can, and if we're not enough, it doesn't matter because we have our successors here to take our place.
That still is foolish. Like we have, like, yes, you may have faith in them, but you have no idea. Like if you factor in the worst case scenario, you don't know how bad it gets. There's no way you put your, like, of course we know that because we're reading the manga that these guys are gonna rise to the occasion, but you have no idea. And they're it's not even like they're college students or they're like 18, 19. A lot of these dudes are 14, 15, 16. That's a lot of faith in kids.
None of them are 14, but yeah, I see what you mean.
No, but they're still okay. So what
that's even too much faith in them because they're kids, literally. they can freeze.
And to be fair, many of them don't believe that the kids should even be there in the first place. So that's why they pretty much use them and threw them right back to the back lines. Just use that, and that's why most of them are only being used for evacuation purposes. Because you didn't see any of the students in like the meat of the battles, because they're like, nah, nigga, I ain't trying to have these kids' death in my hands.
As much as we praise Midnight for telling Momo to do this, I think that's very stupid of her to say do something. And her only order should have been run away. Like, of course, like, do you not agree?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't think they would, because they told the same thing to Deku and Bakugo, and they rushed right in there. And heroes are always known to take risks.
It's about being a hero and what your job is
they're
to
always
do.
known to take
and they're aspired to be heroes. So she saw the city. She saw the city are people, civilians who can defend themselves.
The other thing is,
the job of these kids is to be the last line of defense. Literally, that is their job. As the people.
Yeah. One,
they
that
don't want
Hanzu.
them.
Two, Midnight is giving instructions based on the fact that she knows that she's about to die. Another, because like, think about it this way: what clerk could possibly stop him? And like, she was already like, I need to get near his face. What, the league's on us back? Okay, so really, we're just helpless. Can you hear me, create it? And then you think about it: are you aware of what's going on? He won't. Brute force isn't going to work, so you have to put him to sleep. She's immediately factoring in what needs to happen. Then she thinks about who can actually make it happen, and immediately goes to Momo, and then like explains why it needs to happen regardless of the circumstances. So this is like literally her accepting the death, knowing that like her quirk is good for the job, but it won't be there because she's already too damaged.
No, I get all of that. The issue I have is that this is once again them not factoring in the worst case scenario. Of course, she told her, like, if it gets too crazy, get out of there. But she should never even put the thought in her head to even do anything, because we've seen everything has gone to the worst. Like, they've already talked about that Jaku City in the hospital has already failed. They know that. They know this is the worst case scenario.
No. What is the worst case scenario for you?
Everyone dies.
No, the worst case scenario is that civilians dies for a hero. No. As a hero, your job is to protect people. That's what she does. She thought about the city. The worst case scenario is that Micah coming to the city, destroys everything in his path, kills people. And what is the last line to defend from it are these aspiring zero, and the one who's most capable to do something is Momo. That she just did her job. She just did her job. Right now, on the most, it is hard to accept it, but it is like the reality of it. Because
Momo, I mean, when I say everyone dies, I meant like civilians, students, teachers, like everyone dies. That's I literally meant everyone dies.
But for her, the situation, she doesn't think about. She thinks about just the civilians. The civilians are the people that she swore to protect. For her, the worst case scenario is that something happened to them, because a hero, their job is to put their life on the line. So And these kids are seen as heroes that in that moment are seen as heroes. That's their job to do to stop him.
But yeah, because it's like saying that like the kids dying would be like one of the worst things. It's like no, it's like it's going to be a tragedy. But the thing is, at the end of the day, they're all that they have left because they already got around them. There's nothing really else they can do. The students are over there and spoke of as the last line of defense for a reason. And this is going to be the last line of defense.
Yes, they are the last line. Yes, they are the last line of defense. Why would you want your last line of defense to immediately go in right after y'all just got your asses? I understand the concept of yes, Momo has an ability to potentially stop Gigantomachia. Yes, these heroes have rose to the occasion multiple times, but this is not like any situation they have faced. Why is your first thing not telling the kids to get out of there, regroup, and eventually her putting the thing in her mind of you can stop him has sparked like hope and like the kids can do this. Like I don't think you put that into the kids' mind when they really weren't supposed to fight in the first place.
Would you really say that it sparked hope because she was thinking about she had them thought in her mind to run away, and she said no. And so the fact is, even if Midnight wouldn't have said anything, I feel like she would have had the same outcome. Midnight would have told her to run away, and then she would have been thinking about it as like, nah, I can't do that. I'm a hero. Because I don't think it's strictly just Midnight's words, because even with Midnight's words, she's had self-doubt. So I don't feel like it's her words that made her want to do something about the situation.
Wait, I'm gonna see the chapter.
Literally the kids ask her, "What's the plan, Momo? Do we throw in the towel and retreat?" Like, if Midnight would have just said retreat, they wouldn't be asking this question. Is what I'm saying. They would have just been retreating.
But no, Midnight no, because I don't think. The thing is that they know regardless that they need to do something, and she knows regardless that, especially with it being Class 1A people there, like you always want to factor in people's personalities when you talk to them or when you give advice. So if you know that these are people who are going to more than likely engage the enemy no matter what you say, then you at least give them the strategy that will have the highest chance of success and limit their danger.
Okay, the only reason I refute that is because the people that are currently there are not heroes from 1A that have gone into danger.
Momo went to Kamino.
Momo is one of those heroes.
Momo is because she wanted to stop Deku and Kirishima and
but Todoroki. She still went.
Yeah, but
okay. So here's the thing.
The rules. She wanted to stop them from interfering.
Here's the thing. There's more people there that will go against her that she will follow along. I think you guys are putting too much thought into like.
I don't think so because Momo's a leader. Momo's a leader. She's not a follower. So
also, Kirishima, both the hard boys are there. So like neither one of them is gonna run off now.
The only pussy I see is Mineta. So I don't think anybody else would leave.
I don't think Mineta would leave.
And if Kirishima
would talk about leaving, he wouldn't leave, but he'd talk about it.
The hard and like you got to think if the hard boys are there. Kaminari is friends with Kirishima. He's not going to leave him behind. Tokoyami emphasized that. Tokoyami's eventually going to come back too. Like, I don't see, and then like that's not even factoring in the other students that they have with them, right? That like we don't know about because they don't go to UA.
Also, you never know when Anasa and all of them are going to show up as well.
Exactly. Like, there's too many pieces on the board where like I don't see half these characters running away.
I don't see any of them running away besides Mineta.
And Mineta wouldn't even run away. He would complain about it a lot and then cry as he helped.
He wouldn't actually run away, but he would be the one to talk about running away. No one else I would see running away.
Here's the thing: is that they have information that Jiro and Shoji have basically said that there's this unmovable object that Mount Lady and Kamui Woods cannot stop. The kids realize that they're not on that level yet. They know that. And they hear Midnight sound distraught. If they collect all of this information in, and the hero and the teacher that they look up to says run away, they are running away. Of course, in situations they rise to the occasion. Yes, they disobey orders, but looking at everything, they are smart. They are getting out of there. But because Midnight said, "Hey, you could try this," and it may work, that inspired them. That put the kids into the, "Oh, we could do this." I think if they're explicitly told to run away in a situation that they've been said is very dangerous from the very beginning, they get away from there.
I might have to agree to disagree on that one because I don't see that happening. I don't see many of these kids, even with the situation, even like in like a hard situation where they don't have no chance of winning.
I don't see Kirishima
especially
run.
not Kirishima. Especially not
Kirishima,
Kirishima because he'd be the last motherfucker to do that. Because look at his situation with Overhaul. He was scared as fuck, but he overcame his fear because he learned that fear is part of the job.
Speaking of Overhaul arc, that's where we got the flashback where he straight up said, "I don't want to be a person who stands still and lets this happen. I don't want to be a person who runs away." So it would be completely out of left field for Kirishima.
Yeah, it would contradict everything.
Makia of all people.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's not out of character if Kirishima is running away while protecting his friends.
Bro, that's not manly at all.
Yeah,
it's not manly.
Because I'm like, he's not gonna run. I don't say many of them. I don't think many of them would run away at all. It's
bro, look who we look, bro.
Yes,
like
I know what you're saying.
This is not Deku. This is not Bako. This is not.
I know what you're saying, but I'm saying most of these kids aren't the people who run away. The only because you have there's no examples of them running away.
Someone said hold on, real quick. Someone in chat said. Someone in the chat said Midnight said give the sedative to the heroes, then run away. So I don't know why this is even a conversation because they're not going to do that.
Because they're not going to make it to the heroes. That's the real issue.
And because of I know how Class 1A is. When they think they can do something, they're going to do it. Now, like what I'm saying is, I don't think any of them are running away now because they all are inspired to stay. Maybe Mineta may have some like backlash, but they're all going to stay in and they're going to face Giganto. I'm saying is Midnight could have eliminated the whole possibility of them staying and fight.
I feel like you're putting too much stock in Midnight because I don't feel like that matches any of their personalities to run away.
Yeah, because my issue is like nobody in the entire series, like none of these children are so compliant that I believe that would happen. Like even thinking back to the Overhaul arc, part of the reason why they got to continue their work study is because Eraser was like, "You guys get to keep doing your work study because I know."
He said it specifically to Deku.
But that's why he still can but if he continued it for all of them because he knew that all of them would still do the same thing ultimately.
Because they would follow after him. That's what I'm saying. When somebody is leading them, and like that's what I'm saying. Like when someone has to make a call, they follow the calls, they follow the rules. We have seen that time and time again with the teamwork exercises. If one of them makes a call and a decision that they feel is a leader, like Momo, if Momo says, "Guys, we got to book it," they are booking it. They even asked her, "What are we doing, Momo?" If Momo has the decision to tell all of them to run, they are running. I don't know.
That's just it. Momo wouldn't have that decision alone. Like what I'm saying, like she would never just think we got to run away. That's just not who Momo is.
In this situation, I think so. I think you got I think this situation is so out of. I
feel like that's putting too much hypotheticals though, because you just going off of what we know of his characters. That's not something they do. There's too many hypotheticals because you'd be thinking like, well, in this situation, it would be different. How would we know that? Because there's nothing in their characters that lead you to believe this. It's just a situation where you're thinking that
literally after the camp arc,
logically they should do this. They don't think logically.
Man, I will tell.
Literally I'm saying after the camp arc, they literally said we shouldn't do this. Leave this to the heroes. There has been multiple times where they have gone against we should do this.
I think you're right, but the context here is different though, because the difference is though they are part of this. They are part of this fight. This is back in the time when they had nothing to do with the situation.
But also, you got to remember they also have come to the realization that they need to start listening to the adults and teachers. They had that whole thing where they like we can't keep doing this. So if a teacher tells them, "Guys, get out of here," they have gone through enough stuff to know when they go against the teachers, stuff doesn't usually go as planned.
There is something I will tell you.
There's also a big difference here, though, because think about it. Back then, them not getting involved is still fine in their eyes because what's going to happen? Oh, we're going to just get in the way of them saving Bakugo. Versus this, where if they run away, then what's going to happen is Maki is going to tear a terrible path and kill many people. So they're not going to run away from that. No. That's not something I would say. The situations are very, very, very different. So I don't feel like those are two comparable situations at all. Because like I said, at the end of the day, if they don't listen, if they don't interfere with the Bakugo shit, what happens? Nothing. At least that's what they think. Nothing would happen. Nothing would change if they get involved or not. But if they run away and they have no involvement in this matter, then people are going to die because they ran away.
All right.
That's their mindset.
Yeah, and we have something also that we get in the license exam, that Deku and Bakugo are like the examples in their, like the leaders of their class. They show some example about how to be a hero, about the victory side and the absolute do everything to save people. And many people look at them like this, like Mineta and everything. So it is really, if they had run away, it was really out of character and out of just like the development that we get in the story about how the class acts, the relationship in the class. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I get that, but like we see Deku and Bakugo. If Shigaraki would have never said one for all, they would have ran away. And I think that the kids understand the severity of all these situations. Like they will run away.
Okay, but the difference here is that in that situation, Deku and Bakugo were literally leading a rescue op and an evacuation op, and they are literally assigned to rear guard duties as the mansion team. Like, so it is technically their job to fight Makia.
Okay, no, that's definitely not their job.
No, like they're literally not supposed to let people get by. They're supposed to be the security defense. They're like, nobody's supposed to get through them.
Now, Maki, bro, they didn't plan for Maki to move. You can't.
Obviously, they didn't plan for Maki, but that's still technically the role they're assigned.
Yeah, no. They didn't plan for it. That's their job, regardless if they plan for it or not.
No, those are exceptions to the rule. Makia, Redestro, those are exceptions.
No, there are no exceptions.
No. You don't have to think this way.
Are you serious?
That's not how a job. That's like, no, bro. That's like being like, I'm the fry cook. Oh, but I don't like that nigga at this counter, so I ain't the fry cook right now. Like, that's not how it works.
No, that literally happens in jobs, though.
I mean, niggas can do that, but it's not like actually
that can lead to you being fired.
I'll be okay to tell that the heroes didn't plan this, didn't think this through because they thought that there will be victorious. It is something that was really, like you said, they didn't thought about the worst case scenario, but still they put the kids on the back to be the last defense line if somebody crossed the line. Passed through them, they knew that the kids could had their job to stop them. They didn't plan for Makia or people as strong as him or strong like him, but that's their job. They're heroes. They're the last line. At their back there is children, elderly people. They don't use their quirks, they just live. And if they let them pass, they will live the whole trauma that they let people die to save themselves. And they are called so-called heroes. Do you want to live to live like this?
Here. I'm about to disprove this shit right now, because like Midnight literally gave them a job change of what they're supposed to do. They have been told multiple times, if things get a little sticky, you guys prioritize yourself and y'all get out of there. Midnight literally changed that for them and said, y'all can do this. So because she gave them a job on top of, like, that literally changes their role in this arc. That's what I'm trying to say. Midnight should never even brought it up. Midnight should have never even brought it up.
No, the thing is though, they would if she didn't do that, for one, he would have gotten there way quicker. It wouldn't have mattered. There's another thing you have to keep in mind. Even if they ran away, what's that gonna mean?
Yeah.
He's still gonna catch them. He's still going to be. He's still going to kill them.
They run away.
He's not going after them. He's not chasing after them.
No, he's not going after them, but they're going to be in his path.
They can spread out. They can disperse. As long as they move out of his immediate.
How would they know this? Because the logic would just be run away. They're just going to run away. They're going to still be.
Hold on. Midnight had a full conversation with them. She could have literally said, disperse, get away from his path. Let him go.
Conversation. I didn't look like a few words.
Bro.
Rex, tell me, what is the
She had like 2 sentences. That's not a full conversation.
Are y'all kidding me right now?
Rex, tell me something. What do you not understand about the whole situation? Don't you understand her choice? Or you're just like pissed? Yeah, you're just pissed because they changed
No, he
changed
feels
the
that she shouldn't
job.
have told them. He feels that she shouldn't have told them to like try to stop, like do anything to stop him because now he feels that she's giving them hope and that they can do something about the situation instead of just telling them to run away.
She never gave them hope. She just asked to do a job that because they couldn't
Okay,
do.
okay.
They
So
say,
Ponzo, what I'm saying,
and she
Ponzo,
said also we are helpless. She said that they were helpless. To show how difficult it would be because even the pros couldn't do it.
okay, so
She
here's
just said
here's
she
the
just
overall thing
Also-
I'm saying.
help.
Hold on, real quick. Here's the overall thing I'm saying is that I am y'all. People keep saying I'm not factoring 1A personality. I'm 100% factoring in 1A personality because I said the moment that she said that you guys have a job and you can do it, I knew like that in the 1A brain, pew, we can do this. We have to do this. We're heroes. They can't like in their mind. That's what they're thinking. So I'm saying like her, like even if she didn't think she was giving them inspiration or hope, that's what she did because we know who 1A is. They're people that don't back down from a fight. They're people that always goes in and saves people. But what I'm saying is, if teachers, and they've had this discussion before, if a teacher says, "Guys, get out of there," they are listening to them because they've done the opposite so many times that they understand that that's not a good outcome.
I'm trying to think about that actually. You said they've done the opposite too many times. Like where?
Bakugo Deku going to Kamino.
No, not them, because they'll always do that. They didn't change. They'll never change on that. I'm talking about the rest of the
Momo
class.
did it when the Kamino.
No,
She's
I'm
here.
talking about the rest of the class. Because
Hold on. So you can use Momo.
I'm saying like
Kamino one.
Momo and
No,
them
no,
are
no,
the
no,
ones
no.
that I feel.
You can,
I'm saying the ones that have already done it, they're gonna keep doing that. They will
But-
keep doing that. I'm talking about the ones that did not go to like Kamino and all that shit. Like I like who when are they like?
But that was
I
my
guess
whole. That's going back to my whole point of Momo being a leader. They will follow her instructions because they know how strategic she is. So
And
the
because-
moment that,
But Momo,
so the moment
Momo
you
being
get,
the leader is the main reason I don't think that would matter because she's going to be the one to try to fight against it. She will
No,
because she will try to save. She
no,
want to save
no.
lives.
But
wait.
here, hold on. But Momo listens to teachers more than Deku, Bakugo, and them. So if the teachers told her to get away, Momo is going to listen to the teachers 9 times out of 10. The only reason Kamino happened is because she wanted to stop her classmates from getting hurt, and she was going to pull them out if even an inch or a cent of fighting was to begin. She is she will protect her friends over everything, so she would have gotten them out of there if Midnight said, "Get out of there." What
But
don't
that's the
y'all
thing.
like?
No. Because the thing is that Maki is 10 seconds away anyway. So like, let's say she doesn't feel like they can get out of there fast enough, then she's still gonna make the same decision because they can't get away anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're saying that like she can like what is it? Disperse. It won't matter because Maki is too fast. Maki is far too fast for that. He's going to get there. He's going to get there before they'll be able to make cover much ground.
They're faster than anything. They could have.
No, they're not. They're not faster than
Not
him.
all of them are fast.
Like most of the class is slow.
The
Most
only
of the
one with a
motherfuckers is
speed
slow.
feed right now is Kaminari. And it's not even a clear.
Yo, what's up?
Anyway, I'm going to just mute you and
Science!
for now.
Guten Tag.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm like no, because it's like most of these motherfuckers are slow. They don't have speed. They're going to get washed.
But they have people that can speed them up.
Okay, I mean,
Like who?
I mean,
Like who?
But bro, you're bro. I will tell you something. You just don't want to accept something. Is that these kids are so kid soldiers right now? They're kid soldiers right now.
I'm like no, like no, there's nobody who can speed them up. No,
Like,
there are no.
Right
like,
now,
what is it? It's like you have Veronica there. No, she's gone.
Like right now, the kids are just kind of fucked. Like that's just where the story is. Like they're fucked.
Like no matter what happened, midnight or no midnight, they're going to be in a situation where they have to do something. That's the situation they've been put in. It doesn't matter what they do, they're fucked.
This is literally the equivalent. All Might is running towards you guys and is going to potentially kill you guys. Get out of the way. Or I got a plan that can stop him. It's like, bro, just get out of the way.
It's not that simple. You're oversimplifying the situation very much.
I'm not
They
oversimplifying.
had a
This-
whole camp set up, bro. Like
the situation is very simple. You like, of course, listen. Of course, there's chaotic stuff going around, but you tell the kids, you guys have to get out of there. The moment that conversation ends, they look to escape and they come up with a plan to escape. Regardless of how it happens, that's what happens. They get out of the way, Giganto. They don't try to engage him whatsoever, and they let him go through.
It's not even just that. The other issue with that.
I don't understand. I don't understand what you're talking about putting away. Then when there's civilians.
I was just about to say, because I'm if they I see what you're trying to say. You're let them regroup and fight another day. Well, they can't do that. Even if they wanted to, they can't do that because niggas are gonna die.
You can't just throw everybody under the bus.
Bro, there's such a huge distance between the mansion and the hospital and the civilians that she's talking about.
Oh man,
and like there's literally hold up. In Midnight Mine, Mount Lady couldn't stop him. Me and Kamu Woods fell because of Dobby and Compress. Majestic can't do anything. All these heroes can't do anything. And I understand that the heroes are their last line of defense, but all of this stuff, and then you know that the stuff at Jakku City is going and it failed. Why are you putting the students in unnecessary risk?
What? It's not unnecessary.
Let me ask this question. Does anybody remember the map? Isn't the city in between the hospital and the fucking and the mansion? So that means for him to get to the hospital or around the hospital area, he has to cut through the city. So if they don't stop him, he will run through the city and kill more people, including the students that are in the city.
What I'm saying is,
I mean, it doesn't matter if they run away. If they don't do anything to stop him, all those people in the city, including their friends, are going to get murked.
Cool.
So
and you want them to live with that trauma.
It's a lose-lose scenario,
on their conscience.
They will get
No.
You're a monster, bro.
No. Listen. Somebody, all right, someone put it. It's 80 kilometers between or however many kilometers between the hospital and that. You Midnight literally just saw that some of the best heroes they have in Japan could not stop this dude. At what point do you say the students are more important? Okay. All right, listen. Real quick. Yes, the civilians are going to die, but realize that the students again are the last line of defense. Listen. If the civilians die and the students live, that means that eventually they can stand up and stop more civilians from dying. Of course, it's not.
That is not a hero's mindset.
You're thinking like a Red Hood. If I kill,
hold up, listen.
I just want to see a helicopter crashing onto the ground.
I can't stop helicopters. I'll fight number one.
Just listen. We are. Listen. Hold on. Listen. Midnight has already. Hold up. Listen. Midnight has already said that they're willing to do something illegal. So they've already hit project. Oh shit! This is real. At what point do you guys think about the future and start thinking rationally instead of maybe we can do it's already worst case scenario. Why are you putting the kids in needless danger when they shouldn't be there in the first place?
No, but
yeah,
I think
they're gonna have to get used to situations like that.
Let me say this. I think you're missing what I'm saying. Even if they did exactly what you said, students are going to die because of that decision.
Yep. But the students, that's what I'm saying. You have to think about the situation in front of you. Thinking about the far off and the things. No. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. I mean literally the moment that they move out of the way. Let's say hypothetically that they were able to get away, which they can't. They won't be able to. But let's say they were. If they were somehow able to get away, then what's going to happen is like I said, the city is in between the hospital and the mansion. So he has to run through that forest, then run through the city, and then get to where the hospital was. So what that means is he's going to run through and more than likely kill some students
that are from UA that are in the city along the way by running them down. So that means if they were to do that and try nothing to stop them, here students are going to die. Okay, so that's just saying like the few that we have here, they'll be fine, but the ones that are still there, nah. The ones that are in the fuck them.
Okay, so again, we're talking about worst case scenario, and Lewis said this perfectly in the chat. He said Makia murders the entire class and the civilians if they fight. If they run, the students live and the civilians die. Some students may die in the city, yes, but like, at what point do the heroes like get a fucking brain cell and say, "Oh my God, we can't."
They're not even telling them
No.
That's the thing. They're not.
No. Okay, let me say something.
They're not telling them to fight. They're not telling them to like.
VG. Let me say something because.
All right.
Okay. Do you know the words "die trying"?
Yes.
Yes, you know the word "die trying." How many times did we see a hero or a student like Deku fighting, saying to himself, I will try. Yeah, if you have to go there, you will pass through me. I will die trying. So before you kill him, you will kill me first. That is a hero's mentality, man. And you're asking for heroes not to think like in this way because it's like you literally manner to think. Thinking doesn't work for this kind of situations. Sorry, man.
It does.
But it doesn't.
Time out. No, so here's my issue with this, and here's why I'm going to just like point this out real quick. Momo is currently making canisters of sleep gas. If that's the case, Momo and them taking the time to actually stand and fight is the best thing that can happen for the heroes right here.
Voila.
Why? Does anybody know why?
Yes.
Because sleep gas travels. So if they make enough sleep gas that it can reach up to Makia, even if they don't make enough that it can reach up to Makia and he like just keeps cutting and running and he like smacks the cloud with his wind pressure and sends it flying back towards the hotel, that's still sleep gas that goes on to Paranormal Liberation Front enemies.
Unless the wind turns.
And not to mention, like I said, the thing is they're not going to die anyway in this hypothetical scenario. Because if you believe that they could get away from him by running away, then you have to also believe that they can make enough distance between themselves to just try to get sleep in his face rather than actually trying to attack him.
Okay, I just read the chapter.
Because they do not have to attack him at all.
All right, go ahead, Sarah.
Like the first thing I heard is that we're discussing if the kids will die. I don't think that. I think that's, of course, potentially they can die, but I don't think
that's
we're not discussing that. He's talking about how he thinks it was foolish for Midnight to tell them that they should like to give them an idea of how they could possibly like prevent him from making it to the
No, I don't think that. I think Midnight, as far as I understood, she went through all the possibilities and she made the least foolish decision from her perspective. So I don't think. The kids are there. They are there to do something. They're not just there to stand around and watch and learn. And
because Rex believes that like if she wouldn't have said that, she would have told them to run. They would have ran, and that would have been better for them.
But here's the thing. Also, like if you look at their faces as she's talking to them on comms, they all look way more concerned with Midnight than they do with escaping.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like Bakugo and Deku being like, yeah, no, you're not pulling up on our teacher. As far as they know, their teacher just died.
Well, I have to say, Midnight looks much closer to dying than Aizawa at the moment.
I'm almost certain she is dead. Sadly.
Yeah, not yet maybe, but I think she's.
She's at least unconscious and.
Of all the teachers at this point, it looks like she's not gonna make it.
I don't like those words "unconscious" and all these black guys.
I don't know. So you got some of the villains try to killing her. You got also our boy. I forgot his name. Hello. The name of the I forgot his name. The hero with the wood powers.
Kamui Woods.
Kamui Woods.
Yeah. Kamui Woods. He's burned to the crisp. Oh, he's dead. Oh,
and
damn.
and he still has bindings on Makia's legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Which, if Dabi goes to light him on fire again, he's also lighting Mount Lady on fire.
Yeah, also, I forgot to mention something. It's funny because like even when I'm reading what Midnight says, she even says, and if things get dicey, save yourself anyway. So she tells him to run if things are getting bad anyway. So what are you arguing about?
Because what I'm saying is, look, all right, literally, if you go to the next page, Momo is literally having an internal struggle of, do I do this strategy? Or she said, regardless, she said to flee. So she's like, what do I? Okay, whatever. You guys right. It's no point of having this conversation anymore. It's no point of having the conversation anymore. Because you guys, like it literally, Momo is literally having a debate in her head whether to do the strategy or to flee. If Midnight literally just said,
as far as I see it, she does not have the debate in her head whether to do the strategy, but what is the strategy? That's the debate in her head.
Yeah. It's not about whether to do that. It's her exact words or what's her strategy.
She doesn't know what Midnight meant. She's thinking about that, not so much about whether she should do what Midnight meant.
Yeah. It's like she's confused on what she told what she's wanting them to do in the first place.
But then she says, regardless, she said to flee. Regardless of everything, regardless of everything, she told us to flee. Instead of having the strategy in her head, or what they should do, if Midnight literally said, just flee, that's the only thought that would have been in Momo's head. And that's literally what she would have told the class. How can you guys not see that?
Because
it's literally there.
Okay. That's not what she thinks. Okay. She thinks multiple times, she thinks, what's our strategy? And then she repeats what Midnight tells her, everything that might give a hint to the strategy that Midnight might have in mind, because Midnight didn't actually reveal the strategy. She just said, you have to engage. I have this weird idea, and I don't tell you this idea. You need to sedate him somehow.
Bro,
and she doesn't know how, so she repeats all of Midnight's word in her head. She said we have to sedate him. She said regardless we have to flee. What's the strategy? What's the strategy? She repeats that part, what's the strategy, like 3 times in the chapter. That's the important part, not the should I flee or should I fight, but what's the strategy? That's the important part, because that's what Midnight was unclear on.
Because ultimately what Midnight is telling them is, I want you to flee, but the reality is she doesn't know if they can actually get away. And so if they can't actually get away for sure, then they might
that's not what Midnight's saying.
Yes, she's factoring in all these things. She's like, you got to think, she knows that brute force won't stop them, which means almost nobody along that path, no hero is going to be able to stop them. So in turn, if none of the heroes can stop him, there's a chance that he's going to get there before they can flee. Regardless, they need to try to get away, but the only thing that's going to buy them time is attempting to sedate him.
Okay, so I'm just going to
getting this one bump. Because keep in mind though, she also said get the sedation to the other heroes. So like she's literally telling them to make something like a sedative and get it to other heroes. So like she's not even telling them directly to be responsible. It's just that with the way things are going, they're not going to be able to get to any other hero.
So here's the whole argument I'm saying. She says give the sedative to the heroes and then get out of there. If things look dicey, save yourselves. Things are so we know that this Giganto has defeated Mount Lady and all that is happening. Things are already dicey. If Midnight,
actually, I don't mean to cut you off. I have a question. What does that actually mean anyway? Get the sedative to the heroes. Because what heroes?
That's what
all
I'm
of
saying.
them, I guess, it might engage.
I'm saying like the plan of get the sedative to the heroes doesn't make sense anyway, because what heroes are even in the area?
That's what I'm like. It doesn't make sense. That's what I'm telling her. She should have just said, "Get out of there," because now all she's doing, her plan was to get the sedative to the heroes, but even Momo was trying to figure out what that even meant. So like now, Momo is taking it into her hands to do something to Giganto.
And I feel like you do have a good chance of not having to deal with that problem of them getting hurt, because I don't want to put too much faith in this motherfucker. But we have Juzo there. Juzo, at the very least, can slow him down for a second.
Yeah, Juzo is very nifty, I think.
Part of what I think, though,
good enough to slow him down for a moment, and then you're able to get those sleeping gas into his face.
Because I also think
get him to the ground. Yes.
Part of it was like who was in range of communication, also because they are a good distance away from the actual hotel at this point. So if Midnight doesn't trust that she's going to make it, but she knows that the only way to beat Maki at this point is a sedative, she needs to get that information to someone.
Yeah, it might also be a factor that the direction Giganto Machia is moving towards. Like, he seems to be moving like really, really fast when Momo says they can't really see him yet from where they are, it seems. But still, Jiro says he's here in 10 seconds, so he has to be like really fast. So,
yeah, that's another thing.
It's just telling like the guys over at the hotel that, hey, you have to sedate him. I mean, Giganto Machia is already far away. What was again with the information? It's just, I mean.
It's literally it's war. All this bad shit's happening.
Like I said, they say he'll be there in 10 seconds, and from what I understand, from what I'm thinking it's going to be 10 seconds because they're holding on to his legs.
Okay.
So it's like without that, he'd probably be there in like literally a second.
No, I
So
think
he-
they
so
said
they
10
have no
seconds
time.
before he held on, right? Didn't they?
Hold on.
Didn't they
No,
first
he's
say
already
10
holding on.
seconds and then Mount Lady holds on and then she says, wait, they slowed him down a little bit.
I'm trying to. Yeah, let me read it real quick.
Oh yeah. I see it right now. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I see. Yeah, you're right. What you said.
But he's not slowed down that much, so
So
let's make
again,
it
they would've
15
had-
seconds.
They would have had
Okay,
probably
yeah.
like 20 seconds.
Yeah, and that's enough time for them to get out of there. But my whole
Yeah.
point is, regardless if Giganto will get the kids if they stop, if they moved out of the way, whether none of that matters. My whole point is Midnight should not have told them that in the first place.
But
I
then
mean,
who does she give
you're
this?
also missing off. You're also missing off the key dialogue that Momo herself says, which is, "We were never taught to turn our backs to enemies." So
No, I actually think it's good that she told the kids because, let's be honest, Gigantomachia was on his way to the kids anyway, right? He would have just ran past them.
No. I'm saying she should have told the kids, but I'm telling her the only thing she should have said to them was to flee.
Okay.
But they still need a strategy to get down Makia eventually. Regardless of whether or not it's useful today, they need the strategy. That information is important.
Because, like I said, that regardless, even if they tell them to flee, like I said, you're going to still result in children's death.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
them,
how likely is that they're gonna flee? How likely is that? I mean,
Like I
those
said,
are
okay,
1A
okay,
kids. They're not gonna run away.
And not to mention, in Midnight's own point of view, she doesn't know about.
My whole issue is that regardless of what happens after the command is given, the command itself should have been just flee. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm also going off the fact that off what she knows, he's still going at full speed. This is before they were slowed down. So what's they going to do? In 10 seconds, they won't be able to get away.
So here's the thing. She knows that Giganto can't be stopped by brute force. She knows that Kami, Dabi, and them is on the back because is on the back. She doesn't know if sedative works on Gigantomachia. She has no idea. So you're betting, you're really risking the kids' lives on a bet of something you don't even know if it's going to work because we don't know, because we know Giganto has multiple quirks. Hawks had to have relayed the information. So you don't know if he has a quirk that negates sedatives. The whole point is you're risking the kids' lives on a bet when you should have just told them to flee, regardless of the outcome after the order.
I
actually think you're overestimating the situation because of the fact is they don't
I'm
have
overestimating.
to go. I'm saying
he destroyed a mountain.
No, I'm saying you're overestimating the situation because they don't have to attack him head on at all. They don't have to even be in front of him.
No.
They do not have to be in front of him.
Of course, that is true. But the league is on his back. If they see
and the thing is, they
play,
don't even have to be in view because the league isn't going to attack them. They're not going to jump off his back. They're not going to
but again, my earlier point, like 3 hours ago, was that they have Compress and Dabi, the two worst people to have in high ground.
That's true.
Bro, my point is, I don't care what happens after the order. The order should have been just flee. That should have been the only order.
The thing is, I agree with the sense that she is endangering the kids with making them fight Gigantomachia. That's of course. I do think that I mean, and that's obvious. That's obvious. She's endangering the kids when she tells them to do something and not just run. That's endangering the kids in some way, of course. But I do think that decision, endangering the children to a degree, was already made when they involved the kids in the first place.
Yeah,
they started this huge war and they took all these school kids with them. What did they think? That's just like a vacation trip? No, of course not. It's already dangerous when they put them on the battlefield in the first place. Now they're just telling them to fight in a way.
Real quick, let me say this. I agree that the best plan that Midnight could have said is to do the canister stuff and the sedative stuff. I agree. That is probably the best thing to do. But I do not agree. Like, sometimes the best thing to do isn't the thing you still should do. Ultimately she still should have, she prioritized the kids' safety. Because maybe the sedative worked.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that decision was already made days before when they first decided to take the kids with them.
I view this, Rex, I view your stance to be like the Batman, Captain America, I don't kill people stance.
Yep.
What do you mean?
I classify that as trying to be moral to the point that you become amoral. Where you're so focused on yes, in the good ideal world, we don't send children to war.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we should not do that. Yes, these are all terrible things, but it doesn't matter because
But also, why are you reading Shonen then?
The only way the only thing that even sort of has this kind of, because like the other thing is like once they scatter, their formation is broken, which is going to make them even more. Their formation is broken though.
But they can communicate on how to formate.
It doesn't matter because once your formation is broken, and you got to remember, there's people following in the wake of Machia. So now, even if you like go to communicate together to get back together, if you run into other enemies, you're still going to end up having a bunch of sidebars, and now you're even more vulnerable to other villains besides Machia. So if you can slow down Machia, you can stay in formation at least.
Those sidebar enemies were the enemies they had planned on initially not letting get past. That's fine. If those were the only enemies getting past this, fine. Do you guys' job. But again, Machia is the exception to the rule. And now that him and Redestro are loose, the plan to stop people from getting
loose.
Okay, but they know that he's out of the cave.
Midnight does it though.
Yeah, but Redestro is fighting Edgeshot, and I think Redestro versus Edgeshot is a much fairer fight than Machia versus just about anybody.
Midnight also doesn't have that information though because she's not there. That's the other thing you got to factor in is that like what Redestro is doing is not information that Midnight even has access to right now. So you got to also like take out we have the meta like God lens that we get to see multiple things happening.
But like it's just like if there's no point. Like I agree, the students were pulled into the situation, so they were already in danger. I agree with that, and my whole thing about it being like the moral thing, but my stance has been the same. Like, if we go back to the beginnings of this arc, I've been having this argument about the kids being there. Like, I understand that this is probably the best case scenario to have the kids there, to have the kids help out because they need the assistance, they need the help.
Yeah,
but
they're
just
gonna have to
because
get used to it in the future too.
I agree.
I agree with all of that. I agree with all of it. Students definitely need to be here. Deco with them need the experiences. Momo and them need the experiences. This is great. This actually needs to happen because we know what's going to happen in the story. But in the context of these adults in the story, that's what I'm arguing. I'm not arguing the context of the story. I'm arguing the decision of the adults. Of course, I agree that these are the best case scenarios, but I'm just trying to figure out why do you guys don't see that as an adult, why are you telling the kids to get involved? I agree that the decisions he made
I absolutely agree with it, but I think that's a problem throughout all of Shonen. Like in all of Shonen, you can ask, why are the kids even here? What are we doing with the kids in this scene?
More so in My Hero, the context is so good that we know why the students are involved. We know what's so I applaud the students being involved. But the issue is, again, like even though I understand all of this is right and all of this just needs to happen, I still like question the adults' decisions and Midnight decision in this situation too. I agree that she probably said the best decision, but I don't think that's the decision as an adult that you make to kids.
I also think though that, and this is kind of like one of those like sociological things where if you have been in a quirk-based society and you've been like that society's been existing for like 100+ years, the way we perceive this is a little different because for us, you would have to go through high school plus like college-ish before you're supposed to be doing all this kind of stuff. And a lot of plots make way more sense if you just move these high school kids into college age. But like this is especially one of those because then it would just be like, well, I mean, like it's kind of like the military. And like that's kind of what this is though. It's like a child soldier program. So what the question of the adults' ethics, I would say the people like the heroes, like Midnight's ethics, I don't think those are in question. I think that's her being slightly like a byproduct of their society and the circumstances that necessitate that. I would say posing this question towards like the Hero Commission though, for not maybe fostering like more older heroes or going out of your way to make sure that like heroes had to be older and having a more detailed and like more rigorous program from get-go, because regardless of how complacent like the actual active running heroes got, the Hero Commission never should have been that lazy just because they had All Might.
Yeah, I mean, we can just remember, like, after All Might went down, like, the first reaction was we have to push all these young guys into getting a license as soon as possible because we need all these heroes fighting all these dangerous villains, which is, of course, like, very screwed up logic because you can't just because, like, your big symbol now falls, you can't just send all these 15 and 16 years old.
That's what we call
deal
politics.
With the problem, please.
That's what we call politics.
Well, I actually don't have an issue with the way that not the commissioner send the kids, but the way that the system is set up. It's literally the way I look at the system is that instead of coming right after, let's say you get out of high school and you decide you want to be a cop, and then you take the cop thing, then you become a cop. The way I look at this is that instead of that happening after high school, you just get it all throughout your years of high school. So that way you get actual training for the job, and then you come out. So it doesn't matter that you're 18-year-old hero. It's because you've had 3 years or 4 years of training of this, and then that's more than a lot of like jobs get. That's more than firefighters get.
But they're not 18. They are 15 and 16 when they get their
No.
license.
I'm just talking about the overall. I'm just talking about the overall structure of the system.
Okay.
Because they get their provisional license, but they still can't actually just go out and start doing hero work. They have to be like accompanied by somebody and all of that. So that's fine. It's literally like an internship. It's like you got to learn the ropes, and then once you actually
with your provisional license, you can actually go out and do hero work. That's why Bakugo and Shoto could take down this villain right after they got their provisional license.
No.
They were licensed.
Midoriya against Midoriya versus I forgot the La Brava, and that was because he.
No. Okay, so
he means not having like an agency and all that other stuff.
No. What I'm saying is they can't actively go out there. If something happens, they can respond. That's the difference between the actual license and the provisional license. With an actual license, you can actively do stuff. With a provisional,
where did you get that? I didn't.
No, you can do stuff with provisional licenses, but you don't.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to be more of an emergency responder. You're not supposed to just.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're not actively out there like Endeavor looking for things to stop. You're more of a responder. Like if something happens, yes, you can step in because that's what the kids couldn't do.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
They couldn't actively step in, but now they can, but they can't actually just go out there looking for stuff to do.
Yeah,
and I think so. That's what I like the system they have. It's just that.
I don't mean to derail that, but that sounds a little too loose. Because really, at that point, you could just be walking around looking for trouble and be like, "Oh, I just so happen to be here. Okay, here it is." There's really no way they can prove that you were looking for it. That's kind of a broken system.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like a very broken system because there's no way you can prove that.
Because with Deku, yeah, he literally just walked up and like stumbled on Gentle, and with Bakugo and Shoto, yeah, they were just like riding down like around town.
Yeah.
But like, there's nothing to stop me from like in my casual clothing, just walking through the neighborhood all the time, waiting.
But that's illegal.
It's illegal, but I'm saying there's no way of you being able to like figure out.
Where do you know that it's illegal just to you can walk in your neighborhood?
No. What I'm saying is it's illegal to do hero work without your hero costume.
Well, that's the thing.
No.
I mean, they always wear the hero costume below their normal clothes anyway. So
hold on. Didn't Bakugo and Shoto take that dude down in their not?
Yeah,
hero
I think
clothes?
they did in their school clothes.
They pseudo put their hero stuff on.
Yeah, Bakugo had his gun.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's gauntlet, but not a costume.
What would stop anybody?
No. What I'm saying is, as long as they have their case and their pseudo stuff, they can still actively work. They don't have to.
I don't think the case.
I don't think that's the case
either.
Actually,
I think the license is the deciding factor.
Yeah, I don't think their hero costume is the thing. Because the thing is, if that was the case, all that would mean is that Deku has to just take those gloves with him wherever he goes, and then there's a villain. Kind of put these babies on, and then he's in the clear.
I mean, for one, that's not really a problem because it seems to me that heroes and at this point students also basically take the hero costume everywhere. Like Bakugo and Shoto took the hero costume literally to the family dinner with the Todoroki, right? I mean, they take it everywhere at this point. So
it is normal because they have their stuff in the car of Endeavor because they work the day after work. After working in Endeavor's office, they went to the dinner. That's why their stuff were in the car. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, but I will also make it a point to point out that Kaminari does make it a point to emphasize that they have their costumes. He's like, we've got our costumes. We're on the scene. Like, yeah, he doesn't mention the license, but like that's kind of implied.
Yeah.
So like, I do think that having your costume is a part of like hero work and how you're supposed to do it.
I thought that was already explained and established that you need your costume to do hero work.
No, I thought you need your costume, but I didn't think that was like the deciding factor, especially not considering we had like Bakugo just having his gauntlet, which wasn't really his entire costume. It was just one part of the costume and it already kind of counted or what. So
he had his case. So what I'm saying is, as long as you like, this is all provisional license exam people, not actual heroes. But for like the provisional license people, they need their actual costumes and they need the case. That's why they always carry around the case, just in case,
Really?
But then again, even if that's the case, that goes back to my point. it's a very broken system because no matter what, you can say it's illegal all you want, but it's like
Here's my case.
There's literally nothing stopping anybody from just walking around the city looking for trouble, and they could just say, I was just going to the store and I just came across this guy.
For the most part, students, when they get the provisional license exam, they're only at school and they are doing internships. So the most of the times where they're doing hero work is during the day while they're at their internships and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that doesn't. The thing is, that doesn't really change the fact that those are children that are still put in danger. That doesn't really change the fact, even if they're not allowed to actively search out the danger, it doesn't really change the fact that the Hero Association very much relies on these children being there and helping out if there is danger, and that's a problem. The problem is not that these kids are really actively searching out trouble. The problem is that the Hero Association relies on them fighting trouble wherever they see it.
Oh yeah, well, but that wasn't my point. My point was just talking about how the system is kind of broken in the sense that you're saying that's what they do. That I'm saying that I'm not talking about what they do. I'm saying there's nothing stopping someone from abusing that system, because it's a very easily abusable system, because there's no way of you being able to like track these things that they're doing unless you have like some camera on them the whole goddamn time.
Well, we know that there's cameras everywhere, and too.
No, there are, but I'm saying you would never be able to tell their intention.
Let me finish. Also, like, let's say that there's just one guy who's a student, who has a provisional license exam, and you have to write up reports every time you do hero work. If they notice a student is getting like, this nigga done did 30 cases in 2 days, and he's a provisional license person, and he wasn't an internship, that's easily tracked, especially because they got to document everything. I think you guys are like literally like we've seen.
Yeah,
like,
give him an award. It's such a hardworking student.
That's reprimand. Like they'll be reprimanded because it's like you're actively going out. And we've seen the whole process of being a hero, whereas doing the hero work with the costume, we've seen all of this. So I think that the system is broken, but I don't think it's broken in the way that you're describing it's broken.
I'm not saying that like somebody. I'm not saying you wouldn't get caught. I'm saying in a lot of cases you can do these things and not have to worry about getting caught. Now, if you did like a pattern, that's like anything. Yeah, if you do something enough, then yeah, it will be a little bit suspicious. But I'm saying you could do it a few times and nobody would know the difference. Because there is no way of telling the difference unless you make it a big ass pattern. But that's obvious. That's anything. That's like embezzlement. If you don't make it a pattern, no one would know. So I'm like,
embezzlement?
Yes. Yes.
I just like the fact that that's what he was like, bro. Like,
there are so many other things you could say besides embezzlement. This nigga just went straight to embezzlement. You embezzling, BG? You embezzling, man? Is that what's going on?
I mean, if I want,
you ain't gotta incriminate yourself. Don't incriminate yourself.
What I tell you?
Incriminate yourself. Incriminate yourself in front of all these people right now.
No, nigga, take that fifth. Take the fifth.
We did it again. I don't know how we did it, but we always seem to do it. A fucking argument about nothing.
I mean, everybody, like, according to the chat, it's because Dustin wasn't here to like yell at you.
Actually, what y'all don't understand is if Dustin was here, we would still be arguing about it right now.
That's how I felt about it. I was like,
y'all don't understand. Like, y'all will be. It's not that me and Dustin make each other better. We make each other worse. If we're arguing, we're not stopping. Like,
they're
that's
basically
like
a toxic couple, but they're not like together.
Friendship. He can translate.
Where is that motherfucker?
We just
He in the stew.
Aniki, you just missed one sub and you get 400.
Am I at 399 right now?
Yep.
Yeah, almost there.
Nice.
I'll unsubscribe and subscribe again. Get you at 400.
Yeah, because that's how it works. That's how it works.
I get you at 400, but easy. Oh man, this is a great chapter though.
But I do like the fact that Mudman is actually like because Mudman is a character that was built up for a while actually.
Mm-hmm.
He got like 6th place in the race. He actually might have. I think he actually did better than Ida in the obstacle race during the sports festival. Because I think Ida was 6th. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did better than Ida during the sports festival, during the obstacle course.
I didn't even know they showed him back then.
Yep.
I'm just in hindsight really miffed that he didn't make it to the finals. Just
I really shocked was
hindsight really sad about that.
He had a super technical quirk. That's the issue.
Yeah, but I think Aoyama made it, and Ibarra and Tetsu, and he doesn't.
I am with her on that one. It's like, how the fuck did Juzo not make it?
Well, I'm trying to remember who took him out. I think he got frozen. I think he was one of those people who got like stuck in the frozen pile.
But that doesn't make sense because all he had to do was just
during the cavalry battle.
Oh, he lost during cavalry battle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. That
makes sense. Never mind. Wait, hold on. No, it don't. Because I was like, oh, actually, no, he has touched the ground, doesn't he? He has touched the ground.
Yeah. Also, we don't know
who was on. He's useless.
We don't know who. Also, we don't know who was on Joju's team.
Was he with Tetsu? No, right?
No, I'm saying like even that's what I'm saying. It's like it wouldn't matter because I'm like Juzo is pretty fucking useless if he can't touch the ground. So actually, it makes
no. If he's the horse,
Google what team he was on.
He was the horse. He was the horse.
Yeah,
he was the horse. I know he was the front horse, right? He was the front.
Wait, how's that work though? Because like he has to hold them up. So
no, he was his Tetsu in the team. He was his Tetsu, Juzo, Awase, and Ibara.
No, I remember him like he mowed the ground up.
No, that's bad because it was
he was the front horse of Tetsu.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if Tetsu was part of one of the horses, that means that means that they didn't lose there because Tetsu made it to the finals.
No, they lost that round, but then Shinso's two guys in Shinso's team stepped down, and Ibara and Tetsu stepped up.
Just thinking about it right now, Mudman if he was in the tournament, he would be in the top 3, man. Literally, his quirk is too strong against Ida, against all these people. Then his quirk was already too strong, man.
Okay, so
Horikoshi was like, I want this to be about Shoto and Bakugo and Deku. I don't want this Juzo guy here stealing the show. Just take him out of here.
So what happened?
I mean, I'm looking at the clip. It probably would have ended up being Juzo and Bakugo, and Bakugo probably still won that match.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cavalry battle now, and Juzo was Tetsu, and he was the horse. And he used it on the ground, and the reason why Deku and them got out of it was because of Hatsume using the rockets on the feet.
Oh yeah, that's how they got out of it. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was.
So yeah.
No. Juzo made it.
No. They
came
took
4th place.
They were 6th.
6?
So how did Vine Girl make it in? Oh, because they dropped down.
Yeah.
No, I thought they were the 4th. I thought it was like
That's what it was.
Shinso's
Shoto
team
first, then Shinso was
Shinso was
4th, so they made Shinso was it was Shoto's, Bakugo's, Midoriya's team, and then Shinso 2 stepped down, and then 5th was Juzo.
Well, 5th was Kendo's team, and then they got frozen. So I guess Tetsu and them apparently were fighting longer, so she said it should go to them.
Okay, so
all right.
Okay, so yeah, so that's why.
Complicated.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, why, if Juzo was a what is it called? The recommended student. Why didn't they give it to him instead of the Vine Girl or Tetsu?
I don't know. That's what
I attribute that to combat. Like I think Juzo wasn't as good back then, and it was just like
I distributed to Tetsu and Ibara just being more charismatic. Really? I think Juzo.
I can't imagine he wouldn't be that good back then
because he was recommended.
Actually, let me take that back. I'll say Ibara specifically got them headbands, and Tetsu probably like got it or did something more important, and he felt like that.
Remind me who Ibara is.
The Vine Girl.
Green hair Vine Girl.
One that Kaminari fought.
Yeah, Shirazaki.
Yeah.
And I just looked it up, and he was 5th place in the obstacle course race, and Ibara was 4th. So both of them were faster than Ida back then somehow.
Shiozaki, yeah, Shiozaki.
Yeah, I think Juzo might just not have made it because I think he's just quiet, and while Tetsu is not, so Tetsu is maybe more charismatic, and they chose him. I mean, at this point, it would just have been their team choosing who to pick, and maybe Juzo would have just stepped down and say, "Tetsu, you do it."
Yeah, because even his philosophy about just going with the flow is really, in a fight, it is really dangerous, going with the flow. You just
Nah, Juzo was cool. I'm sorry.
I think Horikoshi intentionally just left him out because I think he would have got too far into the tournament. Logically, he would have just got way too far.
Well, I understand like the out of character reason as to why they didn't put him in.
Like in character, he probably just was cool with like letting Tetsu Nibara go, and he probably because also he already knew it was going to be a 1v1 tournament, so he might have felt like his hand-to-hand combat wasn't going to be up to par anyway to like really do what he needed to do.
Though he would have absolutely destroyed Shoto. I refuse to use fire Shoto. That would have been deal. I mean,
also, I'm looking at Juzo's shit. That's just gonna look disgusting in the anime. I don't like it. His like softening.
Yeah,
we've already seen it though.
It's muddy. Yeah,
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we've seen it in the anime. It looks disgusting.
Yeah.
It's CGI. It's gross.
Really?
Oh yeah, it is. I see it.
Wait, really?
It might change in
because I'm looking at the If you look at I'm on the wiki and they showed a clip of him using it. That shit looks gross.
Oh, I'm gonna look him up.
Like go to the wiki. The video at the first 10 seconds, you'll see what it looks like. Yeah, it's it looks like brown shit.
Yeah, it's really, really. I would have preferred to use muddy, but fine.
Yeah, it was mud, bro. Like he's mud man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, like I said, it just looks gross because of the CGI.
I just wanted to say that, he's been built up though, and we had that emphasis on him. Like we had the recommended student gas. Hell, he was like the third place person in the race between Shoto and Inasa. They had of the recommended students. Then, joint training, he was the center pillar. And even though, he was gonna losing consciousness, he, managed to soften a building so that Tetsu could push down on somebody. So
that nigga's OP.
Speaking about 1B students who didn't make it, I really think that the cavalry battle was just not the real type of battle for Kurohiro, right? I mean, that's just it's just. But what's he gonna do? He's just sitting around as the rider or as the horse. It's just he can't really use his quirk in that setting at all.
Who are you talking about?
Kurohiro.
Oh, Kurohiro. Oh, what the fuck did he do?
Nothing. He was horse to Monoma. So I don't think he can really do anything then.
Horse for Monoma.
Yeah, Kurohiro really.
Even he was hit by there are 3 horses, right? I mean.
Yeah, technically.
So he was back horse in a way.
It says. Fuck. Hold on. Where's his history?
He hops into black stuff. But he
can't do that when he has to carry somebody, right? I mean, he can't do that.
It says quirk is to go into black stuff, right?
Yeah.
What's black?
And also, real quick, the sun, the way that the stadium is set up, the sun is beaming right down.
Yeah, middle of the day, no shadow. Everything is kind of a cementos gray.
That's crazy. Kurohiro is Dark Shadow.
What's crazy is that this whole. All right, so you know how Azawa said about some of the times the exams are just not fit for certain students. I think that the UA Sports Festival needs to be changed up too, because just
looking back at this, a lot of these matches aren't good for just the quirks class B does nothing in these matches.
The only thing I really don't understand, even hindsight, is how Shinso made it. Let's be clear.
Pony should have been good.
Even when Shinso manipulates all the horses to be horses for him, he didn't really have good horses. Let's be honest. He had Aoyama and Ojiro and 2 other guys and 1 other guy. It's he didn't have the greatest horses, so he just had his mind control quirks. But did just tell people to give him the headband while the camera was not watching? Because how did he get so many points to move ahead?
Because look at it, Setsuna, what is she gonna do in a cavalry battle? Really, tear herself apart? The girl with Poltergeist, she didn't have anything she could manipulate.
Also, Hagakure. What's you gonna do, Hagakure? She's an invisible girl. Hagakure's biggest strength is that she can be stealthy and hide. What's she gonna do if she has to be together with 3 other people that carry her around? She can't hide.
Jack the Ripper, you can't cut people.
I was like,
funny enough. Yeah, we hear. Yeah,
I was
funny
gonna
enough.
say, wouldn't you say Pony would be good though?
Yeah, she would have.
Yeah, but I feel like Pony.
But we also don't know how
made it through.
We also don't know how strong her quirk was back then, because we know Class B improved it tremendously, so we don't know how effective it was back then. You know what I mean?
Also, Mushroom Girl, a lot of these people were just at a massive disadvantage.
Hold up.
I feel like she would have been great. What you mean?
Hold up. Mushroom Girl should have made it to the final.
No, open air. No no ability to add humidity, because there was a certain she didn't have she didn't have any of those tools to spread spores.
But manga could have done something. I'm sorry, but How did we not see massive letters all over the place?
Well, back then his head was just a speech bubble.
I do remember seeing him. I do remember seeing him.
Bro,
being like, what?
Literally,
he was 40th.
At the start of the race, he could literally, like what Shoto did with Ice, he could have literally just stopped everybody right there. Like, boom.
With a massive wall.
I don't think he was that good yet. Like, he just had, like his head back then was a speech bubble. Now it's a full page. I feel like that.
But even still, we should have seen letters randomly popping up, even if he wasn't good.
I'm not going to lie. He had to have been good to some capacity to even be in the Class B.
Mm-hmm. Well, true. But he's like 40th.
Like, he had to have been able to do something.
He was 40th though in the obstacle race. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think saying kapow is gonna make you super fast.
Yeah. So like I think he just wasn't in a good position to show off anything.
Wait, what team?
I'd argue maybe he just didn't want to hurt his friends.
That too, like.
Where's Kendall? Oh yeah, there's Kendall's team.
That's the only thing I could think about because I can't think of any other reason why that motherfucker would have been like no good.
Is that just pure girls team?
Well, we know if there was this is not going to happen, but if there was to have another sports festival, there is no reason why a lot of these Class B students wouldn't make it to the final. And I would say that even over some Class 1A students.
That's really like the one thing that in hindsight is really kind of sad that none of them made it far because this makes sense. And it really also destroys this whole narrative of 1B actually like keeping up with 1A, being just as good as 1A, being able to rival them in many ways because obviously the sports festival showed the opposite.
Well, no, I think they can rival 1A now, but back then 1A was just on another level in comparison to them but it's not because of anything that like 1A is like special or anything like that. They just had more experiences.
I also don't think that part of it literally is just the events weren't good for some of their quirks.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, but the same can be said about 1A students. There are also 1A students that are.
Yeah, but like a lot of the 1A students who didn't have good quirks for the matchups didn't go far, like Jiro.
Yeah, but even the 1B students that had actually decent quirks to match up, like Monoma, who did very well,
Monoma just happened to pick a fight with Bakugo.
And Juzo actually has a quirk that does work well in this. Why would he not be able to? I mean, this team, Juzo, Awase, Tetsu, Ibara, there's no real reason why they should be worse than Izuku, let's be honest.
Yeah, Izuku just happened to be playing with high point values.
Yeah, but he lost that. He lost that high point
value. He ended up taking the Shoto headband, which would have had all of his team's points on it from the start.
Well, so Deku had the added advantage though about fucking using his brain. That's how he. So yeah.
Because they got Shoto's headband, and Shoto's headband was the second most valuable one.
Third. Just look at this. The second most valuable was apparently Tetsu's.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so like he got a super high point value headband, plus they had already had like the 70 point headband that he managed to snatch off of Shoto's neck. So
yeah.
Like that was just him being short, like them being just short a couple points because of the value of the points that Deku was going against.
Yeah, sure.
And them being isolated.
And also, I know we're talking about the in reasons, like in story reasons, but out of story reasons is literally just Horikoshi did not know how long his story would go. So like, there's no reason.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Another factor is that we are very early in the manga. At this point, I didn't even know half of the kids in 1A yet. It's no time to now reintroduce another 20 kids.
No, I think he always intended to utilize the 1B kids.
Yeah, I think that too. I just don't think that was
because he said
so early in the show. He can't introduce another class yet.
Yeah, because he said he wanted to be 30 volumes. So I
feel like he probably BG. So what I'm saying is that when the sports festival started, what I'm saying is that Horikoshi didn't have his foot in jump yet. So he has to make decisions on the basis of I have to try to keep this going as long as possible so I can flesh out 1B. Is what I'm saying. Like, of course, he wants them to have spotlight, but
no. That's what I was getting at, though. I'm saying I feel like he always intended to utilize them in the future because he said even before this when he was talking back then. Because back then he was talking about he's going to be a 30 volume series. So I feel like this was their introduction.
No. He said he wanted but this is after like when he said that was My Hero had been established and there was no way it was ever getting canceled unless he did like a Kishimoto type of like Kishimoto.
But even back then, Kubo. I hear you. I'm saying even back in the sports festival days, there was no way it was getting canceled because like the first volume already sold like 200K volumes, If you sell 200K volumes, you're not getting axed. He was already not getting axed no matter what.
Let's look at it realistically. The way Sports Festival sets up, it's clear that the way he structured it, the way he planned it, the way he executed it, he did not consider that it might be cancelled early on. Because if he had considered, he wouldn't have brought in this whole thing starting with Shinzo, which is still not really done yet. He wouldn't have focused at Tetsu as much with this whole friendship blooming up and introducing 1B at all. He wouldn't have needed to bother with that if he feared that it would be cancelled sooner. It very much seems like Sports Festival sets up a bunch of storylines, a bunch of arcs, a bunch of characters that were always intended to be important later on. The only reason he didn't focus on them too much was because it was just not the right time for it, because he had to flesh out 1A first.
Sports Festival exists to set up joint training.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Sports Festival, you look at it the way it's done, there's no way he feared that it was cancelled. And if he feared that, at least he didn't make him.
No. Okay, so
it's not even just that. It's like I know what Rex is saying. He's saying like he wasn't established as someone who was going to be staying in the magazine for a long time. But I disagree with that point, because he did. Because that, like I said, those first couple volumes sold abnormally well for a first 2 or 3 volumes. So
yeah,
that
I'm saying
would not
whether he
get,
was
no matter
established or
what,
not,
he wasn't getting axed.
He didn't write his this arc with the fear
No,
in his
I agree
mind
with
that
you.
it might be axed before.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm saying I'm just going off of Rex's point, because he did have his foot in the door. There was no way he was getting axed no matter what. Because
the other thing though,
way too many sales to get axed.
Is that at the end of the day, I think what he was trying to avoid was, because if you remember, the Sports Festival also ends up being twice as long an arc as it was intended to be. Which
I remember that.
Yeah. So like originally it was just supposed to be like a tournament arc that was structured around introducing Shoto. Like that was like the goal, but then he was like, no, I want to like add these other like plot elements and like that's where the Kishimoto interview comes in. It's like anything you plan, you should expect it to be twice as long when you actually get to writing it. But then also knowing that he had these students, he was always going to come back to them, and like he would always tell people, hey, yeah, Shinso's coming back, and then sure enough, you get the joint training arc, which brought back Shinso, but then also brought back in like Class B, because that was an arc about, once again, the entirety of the school across like multiple classes and divisions and whatever. Same thing as like Culture Festival, which was like about not only like the hero students, but also the general core students. So a lot of these school arcs end up being about multiple students. The student set's the only exception being License arc, which still made it a point to talk about Class B, at least at the end for a bit, and then introduce the third year students at the end of the arc. So it's about how you want to like where and when you want to introduce your students, and the increased emphasis on Class B coming in provisional license, like after the provisional license arc and stuff like that, is a direct byproduct of the Rise of the Villain Saga and us moving past the introduction of like UA and the naivety and like the let's meet Deku, let's see what like let the foundation to like where this is all going.
Which makes me all the more miffed, not necessarily miffed, but makes me all the more dislike the certain characters of 1A, that in this whole period where we met the 1A characters and we got to know them one after the other, there's just like this handful of students that we didn't, like Koda and Sato, who were just left out more or less.
Koda's mid, Sato's mid. Yeah.
Well, the way I look at it, like these students not being introduced is very simply, it's not their time yet. Like we literally have an arc coming. Like we have the rest of the series of just students, so I think they're going to be fleshed out then. But there is no room for those characters to get really developed in the series as we've seen it.
No, but I feel like we had these characters around for so long, and we have gone past the point of introducing the 1A characters at this point. So at this point, they just seem to be the side characters that fill out the classroom so that there are 20 kids, not so much that.
I feel that's people like Sero and Koda, but people like Shoji hasn't really been introduced really either. But they already said he's getting his own arc eventually.
Yeah, but Koda has a bit of stuff going for him at least.
Besides being a bum.
Sato's character is really just I like to cook or bake.
Sato and Sero. I think Sato, Sero, and Hagakure are the only real like characters that are literally meant to just be background characters.
That's cap. I'm not gonna let you do that. You know what I'm saying?
What you gotta? Who's a background character?
It's cap. What's up? I came to say something real quick. I took 1 L, but I got 5 W's back. Horror Coach, you got the whole team on his back. That's all I came to say.
What's the L? What's the L?
What?
What's the L?
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, elaborate. What's the L?
remember we talked last week whether he would cut back or not.
Oh yeah. We were right.
Yeah.
We talked about that already.
They're right.
Bow down to your God, Rex, and say yes. Thank you.
You're gonna bow down to me about the whole love thing, then, Rex?
I'm sorry, I got 5 W's. You got 1.
Yo, I literally said, hold on. The thing I always say is it's a possibility, it's a hypothetical. I don't think it's happening. I say that every time. And you niggas
That's just to cover your ass.
What now? Which part? I missed that.
That's cap.
No. Hold on. When I say I think something is true, like this Dobby Todoroki thing, I double down. If I just think it's a possibility, it is what it is.
That's okay, bro. When you in that cloud costume, we ain't gonna be worried.
Did you just think if I think something is true, like the Dobby Todoroki thing?
That's what he said.
Did you just say that?
No. He means that he doesn't believe that's gonna happen. That's something.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what he's on.
I was confused because of...
No. I'm gonna respect Rex's cap.
I was about to wind down the stream, so.
You already know.
So before I said we got you in here. I was just about to start winding down the stream because I kind of have plans today. But let's get your thoughts on this chapter real quick before we do the closing ceremony that we usually do. I want to real quick let's have East speak. Let's have the Archbishop preach for a little while.
All right.
You're gonna follow the Bible.
I'm gonna go off the dome. 3-minute preach. 3-minute sermon right here. We're gathered here today because y'all know what time it is. It's another 10 out of 10. We've been luckily blessed. Now, I just want to take time to talk about how I told these niggas from the jump, but these niggas don't want to listen. How this war going to set up everything. It's been everything from the side characters to the women. Now, who I got? I got Momo, I got Midnight, and I got Mount Lady. That's 3. And I got Miracle this whole arc. Well, that's 4. So I don't want to hear nothing about the ladies in the MHA. Not a single damn thing. And this arc is far from over. So on top of that. So that's one can play out the window. So I don't want to hear it. Side characters, we just seen the whole side cast jump up in the paint. They about to show the fuck out. They gonna fail regardless, but it is what it is. You know how we rolling. I'm saying Horikoshi blesses me every day that I come here and I tell these niggas what it is, but they don't want to listen. And if you can't hear, I'm gonna show you. And if I can't show you, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let you believe something. Believe that you're gonna win. Because in the end, you ain't gonna do nothing but sin. Because these blasphemous heathens like Rex, day in and day out, doubt my God. And they need me demolished. You put them niggas in the dirt. I'm stuff with y'all, man. Now you already know, man. I just can't wait. My boy Kamui Wood showed out. I was waiting on the shit the entire time. I want y'all to talk about how.
Hold up, East. Did he really show out?
Hold on. I'm sorry. Ain't he still on Makia? Didn't they come back and give the kids extra time?
I mean, I still wouldn't call getting cooked showing out.
I gotta say, East, that was, I think, the most egocentric sermon I've heard in a while. I told you, and they was honest, so I don't want to keep hearing that.
Oh man, I was thinking to myself, he's gonna preach. And he's talking about himself the whole time. I was thinking
Listen. Y'all gotta fight for years on end on a fucking TL. Then you can come back to me that I got my just desserts. I pay my dues. Having to deal with idiots day in and day out, time and time again, every week. My goodness.
You're right. I completely agree. Yeah, you're right.
I pay my dues. Now it's time for them to pay theirs. Nah, man, but y'all already know what it is. Yeah, look, you gonna start dissing Common Woods. Common Boy still in the bag. He's still moving.
I ain't dissing him. Homie just got cooked. That's all I'm saying. Like that, it's looking tough out here.
Hey man, sometimes burnt pizza hit too. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's like Darby really is lucky that he keeps just hitting people that have a particular weakness to fire. It's just run into a single character in this entire arc that did not have a particular weakness against fire.
Yeah, because he's breaking beyond he's pushing beyond his limits. That's why he's still holding on.
Shout out to Compressed too.
He's falling.
Yeah, shout out to Compressed too on that.
Compressed goated.
Always. He's the magician.
Always.
Been
Well,
telling
that's his
people to
first,
quit
that
sleeping
might
on
be his first
Converse.
dub. I haven't seen him take a dub ever right before this.
I'm waiting on this nigga Majestic to do something, really, man.
Bro, he been too gassed up. For the start.
Rex just peace
what does he
out
do?
of the
That's all I
sermon. He
know.
just sermon. I'm gonna go. Now I'm back.
Wait. My phone died, so I forgot to charge my phone. So I was about to start talking. I was like, wait, what just happened? I was like, my phone. I was like, oh
You
shit.
missed East's sermon.
Yeah,
Just
man.
missed
It's
it.
okay.
You just,
It's okay.
East
It
done
wasn't.
preaching and you. I'm out.
Yeah, it wasn't for you. It was for these damn blasphemous heathens. You know what I'm saying?
Which ones? What did they do?
Well, not your section, the other section.
What section? I feel like I'm about to go back and look at this.
Yeah, you gonna have to. But all right, y'all already know what it is. I had to stop in real quick. I had to make sure I shouted me out.
Wait, what was the 5 W's? I missed all of this because my
Man,
phone.
I have no idea.
It's all right. It's all right.
Watch the VOD. Watch the VOD. Don't know.
Yeah. Watch the vibe.
All right. So real quick, let's go around, close things down. Ponzu, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Great chapter. I was really feeling it for our characters like Mount Lady. She did her job great. A great job. Next to it, we had a long discussion with Rex. I won't forget this. Rex.
Which discussion do you mean? I remember several of those.
Just watch the VOD. So Rex, reread the series, search the definition of the word hero, and reflect on yourself. Reflect on yourself. But yeah, it was really fun, guys. Thank you for everything, and see you next week. I know, 2nd August.
All right.
Kid.
You don't know shit, dude.
Thought it was a really nice setup chapter. Loved the character moments we had, especially with Momo. I'm glad that she's getting some screen time right now, and I'm hoping this opens the eyes for a lot of people that said that she's done nothing in the series, because every time I see comments like that, I shake my head, because we've seen her struggles in the beginning, and she's managed to slowly push her way to the top. And and what we're seeing right now is going to be a big moment for her. So I'm really happy to see that.
She literally found the Nomu factory, but whatever.
Yeah, like she's the only reason. She's literally the only reason Kamino was even able to happen. But okay.
And please, Awase was almost as important.
I feel like people are just too afraid to admit it. I feel like they're just trying to push an agenda half the time, and they just don't want to be wrong.
Well, people don't want to be like, okay. Like, people don't want to admit that there's things more important than just beating somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like the big issue.
You're not wrong, but I mean, you are. Beating somebody's ass is the biggest thing in any series.
It's like how in the last chapter, there was the let's do this rationally versus let's go, where people love the battle monger part of Bakugo, but they kind of ignore that he does acknowledge people. He does like have like an intelligent, like the ability to actually have appreciation for Aizawa, all these other things and like that. And so somebody was like, yeah, let's go. Cause like, that's how Bakugo is. Like he's trying to go. It was like, yeah, but him saying, let's do this rationally is also him still saying, yeah, I'm here to fuck you up. But like, I'm also going to acknowledge my sensei who like has trained me for this past year, been there for me, all these other things. So it's like, sometimes people like,
he's there to fuck you up with emotions.
They don't want to like think about the emotional spectrum or like the psychological aspects of the characters.
I think another aspect is also just comparing like the main female to the main male character. And in this show, there's not really a main female. Like, it's kind of difficult. Is it Uraraka? Is it Momo? But both are definitely both side characters. That they're not really main characters, both. So you can't really compare them to Deku and Bakugo. And if you do that, you immediately lose.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Miss Cementos as well. Has been putting in a lot of work this arc. I haven't seen that many people bring it up. No, Cementos.
Oh,
Cementos is the sleeper MVP here.
Yeah.
Look, nobody's gonna top Manual. So Manual's the current MVP of the arc.
Kinda is.
But
no,
I appreciate what he did as well.
Yeah, he does good for what he can do, but I wouldn't say that he's more important than Aizawa himself.
Hey, Aizawa can't do what he's doing without Manual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other way around, if Aizawa wasn't there, everything Manuel would be doing would be
Man,
being nice to somebody with dry eyes.
If Aizawa wasn't there, my boy Manuel will be going off right now, talking water dragon jutsu type shit. Know what I mean?
That would have been washed, but Wash got washed.
Oh.
See, it was foreshadowing. It was in the man's name. BG.
Oh, that was dope. It's good that we're getting these kids to actually to try to do their job as heroes, unlike what Rex wants.
What? I said I agree with the all right, never mind.
Rex like, wait, no, it's just people being mean to Rex again. It's fine.
But,
That's just half the stream.
And what is it? I'm actually very much looking forward to what's going to happen next week. And Cementos is good. That's all I need to say.
All right. Let's see. Say yes.
I like the chapter. Great setup chapter. I really like finally getting the kids involved because, yeah, of course it's dangerous, but I mean, we've been waiting for them to do something when they're just sitting in the forest for so long. Also, really, we all knew when Gigantomachia stepped up that it would be a massacre and it would be bad for several heroes on the scene. I didn't expect to see Midnight just popping up and then getting beaten the crap out so soon, and now it looks like really like she's, we didn't really see it, but it looks bad for her. So that was a bit of a shock because it was just so fast, but also I kind of like that. Like it's like finally getting really, really serious on this side too.
My thing is that if Midnight is dead, the thing that I like about this is that Horikoshi is giving people very unceremonious deaths.
Yeah, it's not like she does something great and then she sacrifices herself heroically. She's trying to do her job. She fails, and she has to. That has to suck if she dies now. The last thing she did was pushing her duties off to like a 15-year-old, 16-year-old girl, right?
Yep.
Man,
I like that because I don't like heroic deaths.
But also think about it, twice, actual twice, not his clone, was stabbed and just left on the floor.
Yeah. And then essentially burned to a crisp by Darby himself, right?
More than likely. More than likely. Wash just kind of a lot of heroes just kind of die. Exless, only sign of his death was Shigaraki wearing his cape.
He was literally died just to die.
Crust died, and the only thing that really the only person who was acknowledging that moment was Aizawa making eye contact, damn nigga, you dying.
Didn't Aizawa also shows flashback to him?
Oh,
well, he got to throw up a thumbs up, but
Aizawa had a short flashback to him, right? When he stepped up again. I don't want anybody else to die for me, and then he thought about Crust. So that was a little bit of a.
But I'm saying there wasn't ceremony. That whole everybody in the room Crust.
No, Crust.
It was just
your noble sacrifice. We're gonna miss you so much. No, he's just gone.
Make a GoFundMe for Crust.
I just imagine Horikoshi designing Express, and he's just, I'm just giving this amazing cape. Because I had this idea of Horikoshi, of Shigaraki wearing this cape. So I need him to get a cape somewhere. Let's make a character that has that cape, and then just kill him for it. It's just.
Yeah. All right, Rex.
It makes me all giddy.
All right, so Ponzu, everybody else, I just want you to know you kind of knew Ponzu to the stream, so you're going against me. You've decided to go against Rex. And time again, I have been proven right. It's okay.
What?
What? Which time are we talking about now?
How many? Name the times I've been wrong. Name the times you've been
right.
I'm trying to remember right now.
The times I've been right. This chapter when I said it wasn't gonna be no flashbacks.
Yeah, okay, I said that too. That's true.
Yeah, she said that too. What's something that you said that we all told you were crazy? Because it only you was all you against two of us.
It's usually me versus everybody. Anyway,
Yeah, and now give an example of you versus everybody where you were right.
I'm trying to.
Man, we get to think we were gonna make a campaign to get a regular sized body pillow of Labrava made for you. Disgraceful.
But the chapter was good, man. As much as people don't agree with me, I still think that Midnight shouldn't have did that. But you know, she's dying anyway, so whatever. Your decision's in vain.
Is that how it feels when I slander Crust? Because like,
yeah, it is.
A little bit, maybe. But I have to say, it feels worse with Midnight.
Yeah,
Of course.
it is what it is. But
I actually care about Midnight.
I think
But
that
you didn't care about Crust. How dare you?
no, BG likes Crust.
Crust is alright. I don't hate him. Yeah,
It's Aniki that hates Crust for some reason, even though he's the best
Crust's
hero.
gonna be in that top.
Yeah,
Best
he was
hero.
really he was in the top 10. He was the like the inheritor of Whole Knight's mentality of the heroes.
Because I
Die
don't-
smiling nigga.
Yeah, man.
I know next issue they're starting a 6 popularity poll, so Crust's gonna be top 5.
Ooh. Yo, if Crust
This
is top
noble
5,
sacrifice he will miss.
if Crust is top 5, Aniki, you can never talk about him ever again, like ever.
Yes.
And your argument can, and your
No,
argument. Hold on,
if
your
Crust is top 5, Aniki won't stop talking about him ever.
you know what his argument is going to be, right? Japanese differences, they suck. He always uses that popularity post. Like they just don't know what they're talking about. I'm like, okay, that's what he's going to say.
bro.
Oh,
No, I have to say actually with the top 10 of the popularity polls so far, mostly I've been okay with them. Like
No,
most
there
of the
are
like in the One Piece popularity polls, it's always Chopper up there, and I'm always like, why?
One
But
Piece is a
my Hero
series.
Academia polls are actually
What's wrong with
fine.
Chopper?
Yeah.
Hold on. What's wrong with
Yeah.
Chopper?
One Piece, man, that nigga a bum. One Piece
Fuck
is the
off.
series where
I like
10.
Chopper. I like Chopper.
One Piece is the
I
series
love Chopper.
because like Whole Cake Island came out and they did a popularity poll and Brook wasn't even in the top 10. And you cannot, they did no. One Piece is the show.
Was Katakuri in there?
I don't even, yeah, exactly. Like they
Really?
slipped up. I don't even think Katakuri was in the top 10. Not the
That's
Katakuri
trash.
or Brook.
I understand that the popularity polls in such a long-running show don't change significantly arc after arc after. I get that because
But,
you're kind of
like-
stuck with your favorites.
But, like-
After 800 chapters, you're stuck with your favorites, and even if like some other character suddenly pops up and does something great, if he wasn't great before, whatever.
I'm sorry, but if Zoro ain't done shit in like 100 chapters and you got Brook out here going 1v1 with Big Mom asking to see her panties,
Yeah, but people
I
make their
think he
minds up.
deserves
People
some
make their minds up.
acknowledgement.
And also one thing, like this just shows the different, like how different it is for American and Japanese. Because when Katakuri popped up on the scene, before he did anything, just his design alone, people was like greatest character in One Piece of all time. That's
Yeah,
literally what
because
people were saying.
let's
that
be
really
honest, that was
different? Is that really
the
different than
worst
Japan- is that
time
really
in the
different
One
than
Piece
American?
fandom ever. Everybody was like, "Oh, new chapter, hype! It's
No, I was gonna say-
great,
no, I was gonna say,
awesome
is that
chapter."
really
You-
different
That
from
was
America,
what One
Rex?
Piece was like. People didn't
in
even
the
read
French
the chapter; they were
community-
already hyped.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
in the French
Rex, that sounds a
community
lot
was
like
the
the
same
American
thing.
fandom.
It was
Yes.
yeah, no, in the French community of One Piece, everybody was shocked how Katakuri was. Really bad. Everybody was shocked. He was the favorite character of every person. Really.
Here's my thing.
So
If One Piece fans the same around the world.
Ace is still a top 10 popularity poll.
He's
character.
so trash, man.
Was always
Ace, like,
trash.
I hate Ace so much.
Okay.
I'm so glad Akainu
trash,
put a
I don't know
whole.
about that.
Akainu put that trash in its place. I was hype. I was like, good job, Akainu. The only time
Like the nigga's been dead for 12 years.
The One
I
Piece
mean,
fans about to eat you
Akainu
alive,
actually
man. They're about
struggling
eat
to
you
make it to my
alive.
top 10. But
But,
Akainu
I
may be
like
number
Ace.
one.
I don't like Ace. I don't think he's trash though.
like,
Man, that goofy
Yeah,
got
he's
what he
just-
deserved.
he's
That goof-
overrated, which is really
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't think he's not trash
Yeah.
though. He's a good
Yeah.
character. I just don't like him that much.
I can't respect his death.
I agree. That's my reason for not liking him that much.
Like I'm like, dog, bro, Whitebeard had accountants on the front line, bro.
Yeah, he died
Accountants.
Well, yeah, because he died. No, because he died because his dad. Some guy called his daddy a bitch.
Like, but I'm just saying, like, Whitebeard was out here sacrificing his accountants to save your ass.
Right? It makes no
Like,
sense.
like you could look and see there was office niggas on that battlefield trying to get Ace out.
Yeah.
what office people are you talking about?
He said fodder. He's talking about the fodder.
Oh, all right.
But they are.
Fine.
Because like if you look at some of them, they're literally wearing like purple button-down shirts and like khakis. Like it's like this is dude.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's like that's his fucking accountant who wasn't done yet. Like, but yeah, all right. So finishing up the stream though, my overall take: good to see Mount Lady get ragdolled, even if it hurt a little. Knowing that, like,
you just say get ragdolled.
Yeah, she got ragdolled.
I see the pun. Good job.
Would you believe that was unintentional?
No, I know it was unintentional. That's why when Sayers brought it up, I was like, he did not mean that on purpose.
So yeah, like we got a lot of matchups coming, and like my buddy said when he was getting caught up, because this past week, I'm just looking forward to seeing this all animated because it's gonna hurt people's feelings, and I think specifically like seeing this chapter animated is really gonna drive home like how wild this is. Watching the celebrity heroes sacrifice themselves, the hot shots get burned.
This is also Midnight, who we've just been around for like forever.
Yeah, like she's one of those like celebrity heroes, one of those people. And in addition to that, I actually like Midnight a lot, especially because I'm a Vigilantes reader, and she pops up there and has like all kinds of wonderful interactions with Aizawa. So for me, I'm like, oh man, the person that Aizawa should end up with if we're doing ships is probably dead.
Well, he's going to die too, so they're going to be meeting each other in afterlife. So it is what it is.
Wait, who are you talking about? You're talking about Joe?
All right, keep that bum miss. Then that bum miss joke better stay alive so she don't interrupt.
Let's talk about this next week.
So you were shipping Midnight with Aizawa.
Yeah, I ship Midnight and Aizawa.
Wait, you didn't ship Aizawa with present
you have a brain. I'm glad to hear it.
Bro, she still got sushi. Like, let's go.
Yeah,
like the cat. not like.
I read that chapter.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna wrap things up here.
Password.
I got a lot of running around to do.
I don't know what your password is.
Stay on stream, Rex. Stay on stream, Rex.
No, I'm trying to order some pizza, but I can't remember my login information, so I could get my points.
Just tell me, I want to get pizza too.
Yeah, like what's our Domino's, bro? Like what's good?
I'm actually ordering Domino's, but I can't remember my password, so I'm gonna have to just order it without.
See, and that's why you use don't forget my password and remember me.
Fuck it. No, I'm on my computer. I just do it on my phone. I just want to.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel with like the 2 orders of Pizza Hut I got. I could have had a free large right now.
Man, this just reminded me that my my Five Guys burgers and fries got dropped
I
on the
saw
fucking
that.
steps.
What happened?
Oh my god.
Doug, the delivery dude went to deliver my burger and the shit exploded like right as he got on my steps. I was like walking down the stairs and I could see through the window outside of my apartment door that he was like looking at the cheeseburgers on the ground.
Did you at least get your money back?
Yeah, I had to get my money back because they weren't gonna remake the order. They were like, you can order the same thing again and we'll give you a 20% discount on the order. But,
20% discount?
And I'm like, wait,
so they weren't gonna give your money back first?
Like it was like at first I was like, well, can you just like remake it? Because like I want my food. But they're like, nah, we don't remake. They didn't want to remake it.
Of course we can remake it. It's $20.
So, and I was like, all right, nah.
That's ass. What the fuck?
Yeah, like I'm like, bro, like you really finna try to charge me? Like I'm not paying you 180% of the cost of my order just because somebody else made a mistake.
Wait twice the time, right?
Yeah, like to wait twice the time plus like fuck you. Like it was already running late. Man. All right.
Those
That's the stream.
Okay.
I'm streaming Ghost of